started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it. I fit the description, I'm the definition. I'm what they prescribe like she seen a physician. She wanna ride cause she seen how we getting it. Big old booty, she my passenger princess. She like to argue, she don't like to listen. She bougie and toxic, she fine and she picky. Pretty and sedated, she get recognition. Matching nails and toes, man, she always French tip 'em. Parking lot pimping when we in the city. Don't ask her about twine, she twerk on the engine. She eat the dick in the car cause it's tennis. She pay me attention like she get commission. Pimpin' CEO, so I give her the business. She ride on the dick like she doing some fitness. She make the dick disappear like she magician. She like to swallow, man, she love when I finish. Having motion, man, you know I got plenty. Bitches choosing cause they know that I'm winning. Okay. See some thousands, now I'm at the some millions. So all my houses come with chandelier ceilings. Pillow talking, man, that shit just ain't in me. Keep it pimpin', I can't do no pretending. Jealous hearted, man, you know I ain't with it. Cuffin' hoes, I can't do no commit. No, we started with nothing in humble beginnings. They wanna fuck with me now cause I'm winning. Chasing this chicken cause I'm on a mission. I'm known for get money and standing on business. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know how we living. Come from the struggle, got lost in the hustle. Straight out the mud, no, I compliment couples. Chasing big bills just to keep this shit subtle. You ain't on my team if you wasn't in the huddle. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket.
What's your name?
Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Chasing this chicken, I ran up a ticket. Keep that shit coming, they know that I'm with it.
We back. Happy birthday, Lala. I gotta start the show off with happy birthday, Lala. I didn't tell Lala happy birthday yesterday. I just know she's mad. I just know she's mad, Chad. Double tap that screen, shut a live out. Y'all know what time it is. We still in intro mode, baby. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I left, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heal. Mine still felt like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spend the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
I was muted, man. Double tap that screen, shut a live out. We got to get to 100 likes. Please support the channel by double tapping that screen. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Hold on, man. Where's the tag?
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Hey, saying Trump's the most powerful president in generations. Officer Tatum bashes Black history and Martin Luther King. And we got Jake Lang chimping out. Double tap that screen, shut a live out. We got an action-packed episode, man. I'm going to give y'all the rundown. We're going to cover a few miscellaneous clips. Also, they're saying newly built home prices fall below existing homes for the first time ever. Bitcoin has also slid below 60K. They also caught Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas walking through the house side of the Capitol. He didn't say why he was there, and he said he was meeting with nobody. That's what he told the reporter. Also, we got Kanye West and his situation going on with his daughter and his baby mama. We have a plethora of Supreme Court decisions that came out today. They said Trump has a lot of power after that Supreme Court decision. Also, mail-in ballots will be able to be counted after Election Day, according to the Supreme Court ruling. Like I said, in a landmark 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court also ruled that geofence warrants, which allow law enforcement to collect sweeping smartphone location data over a broad area, constitute an unreasonable search and violate the Fourth Amendment. We also have inmates at the Bertie Martin Regional Jail in North Carolina. They overpowered the correction officers and took control of the jail. They overpowered the correction officers and took control of the jail. They took hostages, but the hostages were released. I believe they said they had 3 staff to watch 88 inmates. They had 3 people on duty to account for 88 inmates. Yes, we'll get into the Supreme Court deals 3 losses to Trump and 1 big win. And we have Officer Tatum with D. Foster over there bashing MLK. And I'm going to start it off by saying, what's up with these guys? What's up with the Officer Tatums? It's like, we can't have any black leaders. They want to tear down black history. They want to bash MLK. They hate Malcolm X because he was Muslim. They hate Obama. Going at this rate, they just want to tear black history down, man. And that's how I feel about Officer Tatum. But double tap the screen, shut a live out. We are gonna get into the episode. This is a relationship clip. This lady is saying she found out the man she was dating had a whole family. Have you ever found out the person that you were dating had a whole family and you didn't know until it was too late?
All right, so this is embarrassing. All right, so my question is, how should you handle a guy you've been dating and you found out he has a whole family? I found out with seeing it with my own eyes.
You say, how should you handle it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, Chad. If I found out the girl that I was seeing had a whole family, I'd probably just keep that shit P, bro. I'd just keep it pushing, keep it P. I wouldn't even make a big deal about it, bro. I'd just probably block her and keep moving, just to be honest.
I mean, I'm gonna give y'all something to talk about tonight.
Wait a minute. Maybe I misheard. Let's try this again. He has a family right now?
Yeah, I found out he had a whole family, a dog, a house, a car, a garage.
And you, well, let me ask you first. Let me ask you so I can get into your brain a little bit. How do you think you should handle it?
I mean, you know.
I know a lot of y'all are asking like, oh, Plug, why would you just block her? Why wouldn't you get it? Cause I'm not finna get in their business. See, fatal attraction and lovers' quarrels and shit is one of the main reasons people end up dead. I'm just gonna say it. Lovers' quarrels and love triangles and shit like that. Listen, bro, I'm not about to have this man upset at me for knocking down his wife. That's his family. That's his dog. That's his picket fence. That's his wife. I'm gonna leave her alone, bro. I'm gonna leave her alone and keep it pushing.
Cut him off. I mean, of course. But I'm a little spiteful with it.
What? Nah, hell no, I'm not sending that man no message, Abba. What I'm gonna send him a message for? It ain't my wife. The fuck I'm gonna send him a message for? I don't know him. I don't owe him. I'm showing him respect by passing on his wife. Now, all of that trying to help him find it to figure out what the nah, hell no. I'm not complicit with that. That's they business, and I'm gonna stay out of they business, Abba.
I'm a little spiteful with it, just a little bit.
So what you planning on doing?
I want everybody to know at this
You want
point.
everybody to know?
Yeah.
She want to leave her mark.
Okay, let me, one more. How did you, hold on. Can I just ask a couple more questions? How long have you been messing with this man?
I'm gonna be honest. Y'all said the man needs to know that his wife is trifling. Shit, he knows. If a man has a trifling ass wife, 9 times out of 10, he knows. He's just overlooking all the red flags, and 9 times out of 10, he knows his wife is on some BS. I'm not finna tell him shit.
Since I was 23.
How old are you now?
29.
God damn.
Man, you've been knowing that man had a family.
So now she's trying to say she's been messing with this man for 6 years and didn't know he had a family. 6 years and didn't know he had a family. I call cap. Chat, everyone hit the like button on your way in. Do you think this woman is lying? Yes or no? She's been dealing with this man, married man, for 6 years and said she didn't know until she seen it with her own eyes. She's saying she did not know this man she dealt with for 6 years had an entire family until she seen it with her own eyes.
1, 2, 3,
You
4,
gonna get up
5,
here.
6. That's a
Over her
lot
line.
of years. That's a lot of years.
What's up, Anna Mae?
Mike, that's... All right, now, okay, let me ask you this question.
The nigga's good.
Everybody look to your left, right, say shh. All right, now, where do y'all have sex at?
At his crib. It was at mine's and his.
At his crib?
So that's why I said it's a backstory. How he got it past me for so long is...
Oh, he had another apartment, Chad. He had a little spot. He had a bachelor pad, a little freakily. I know he wasn't bringing her to the house where his wife and the picket fence and shit is for 6 years and you didn't know? For 6 years, it's no way he was taking her over there. It's no way.
The crib that I have been going to for years and all that stuff, he has been saying he lived there. So it was an incident where...
Okay.
Ain't no girl.
No, go ahead. No. It was, okay. He was saying he was living there, but what? How did you find out that's not his primary house?
So I found out because I moved in that house.
You moved in that house?
Yeah.
Okay, so you moved in the house. So it was like a rental property or something?
It was his crib. So yes, I moved in the house.
Oh, this nigga's bold. He moved his side piece into one of the rental houses that was supposed to be bringing extra income into his main house. Oh, shit. Oh, this nigga's bold.
And the dude, he was obviously getting up going home. To
How
wherever
often
home
was he staying with you at your house? How many nights?
How many nights? We was together every day.
But
No, how many nights?
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
That's why I
So
said
hold
nights.
on. Let me get the score right. Just so you were
Every now
together,
and
hold
then.
on. You were together every day.
Yes.
Rarely every night.
Yes.
You was rarely nights, mostly days. Now, where did he say he was going that night?
She's lying, bro. She didn't want to give up the amenities. She knew what was going on, but she didn't want to give up the amenities. But when she seen that man and his wife, she couldn't take it anymore. But she was getting free rent because she was staying in one of his properties, talking about that's where he lived. He just wasn't there and shit. So I know you weren't paying him rent. You wanted to deal with the amenities. You said the intercourse was good, and you said that you was living in one of his properties and shit, man. And y'all was together every day. You knew what was going on. You knew what was going on. You just couldn't take it when you found out you weren't the main bitch.
Right.
Home.
He was going home.
Yes. Majority of the time, yes.
So he didn't call where you were staying home.
No, we always lived separate. I always had my own crib. He had his.
So you never went to his home.
Not where the house where the chick is at. No, I did not. I didn't know she was there.
Okay.
I
now
went to the crib that he told me was home for years until I moved in there, and then I found out that's not home.
Okay. Now, how long ago was that?
That was like 5 months ago.
5 months ago.
Yes.
And so he goes to another place. So how did you find out about the family? What happened?
So obviously I move in this crib and I'm like, you know, what is it? Like, you ain't here. Where you going? So he tried not to tell me, so obviously snooped around, found the address, went on over. I seen a whole woman come out. I'm looking at her, she looking at me, and I'm just like devastated.
It took you 6 years to figure that out?
I mean, it was.
What did I tell you, Chad? What did I tell you? She seen the wife and couldn't take it. She seen the wife and couldn't take it, man. It was cool. As long as the wife was an afterthought, what do they say? Out of sight, out of mind and shit. She was cool with banging. She was cool with not spending the night with this man, living separately, because she was getting her rent paid. Rent paid and all of that shit. Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. She can't run this shit by me, bro.
It was
Chill
on and
out.
off. It wasn't 6 years like straight out. It was on and off. So,
All right, last question.
I mean, say I'm a little slow.
Last question.
You're not slow, you're lying. You knew that man had a woman. You knew he had a woman. You just didn't care until you seen it with your own eyes, and the little feeling got the bubbling in your stomach and shit. It felt like you had to use the bathroom. That's when you couldn't take it anymore. And I bet you this. I bet you still ain't moved out his house. I bet you still live in that house to this day. You still live in that shit. And you didn't say nothing to that woman. She full of shit, Chad. She full of shit.
Is he married?
I don't know. I'm assuming. I don't know.
No. What is it? What did it say? All right. Everybody look to your left, right, say shh. What are your initial thoughts?
Oh, wait, does the woman know about you?
I don't know.
So you
I didn't even approach.
Now she don't know. What did I tell you, Chad? I'm telling you, what did I say? She didn't say nothing to that woman. She looked at her, you looked at her, and you backed out the damn driveway. Now you talking about, does she know about you? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Are you still living in the house? That's what, see, they need me on one of these panels. They need me on one of these panels because I'm going to ask that real shit. Are you still living in the house? Because if you still living in the house, you don't care. You don't care.
Approach her. I try to leave it alone because this is getting crazy.
What did he say is going on in the house? Did he say they're married?
He said he.
Hit the like button, chat. He's going to say that they're married but separated. That's what he's going to say. Oh, I'm just staying for the kids. You know how this shit go. I'm just staying for the kids, man. Married but separated. I'm just staying for the kids. I don't want her to take my properties and shit, so you know what? I'm going to move you in this property, man. He probably on some old school shit. I'm just going to be honest. OG probably on some old school shit, man. Double tap that screen, shut a live out, chat. I need everybody to hit the like button in here, man. We got to get the likes up on your way in. Please hit the like button. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. I'm going to ask y'all, chat, do y'all think this woman knew about the wife prior to seeing her? Yes or no? Did she know about the wife prior to seeing her? 6 years, she said that she didn't know he had a wife.
He's not married.
He said what?
He said he's not married, but can you really believe him?
Question, I'm just curious for context. Just context only. You say you found out 5 months ago. So
Yeah.
like what's been the situation since you finding out?
We done fell all the way out.
When the last time y'all
Do
fucked?
you live in his house?
Probably like, it wasn't no yesterday. It was probably like 3 months ago.
3 weeks ago?
Do you still live 3 months ago? So you found out 5 months ago. You done let him clack 3 months. He cracking for the rent.
3 months.
He cracking for the rent, bro. He looked at you as one of his little whatevers that he cracked for the rent and shit. You looked at him as some other shit. You knew what the fuck was going on. Listen, chat, I'm from a small town. It's landlords around here cracking shit for the rent, man. They cracking shit for the rent, man. I'm talking about one of the landlords around here, man, ended up getting one of his tenants pregnant, man. He got a whole wife, kids, and everything, man. Got a couple of the tenants pregnant, man. They cracking shit for their rent, man. She can't run this shit by me, man. She getting cracked for their rent, chat.
3
3 months. Okay, so you good.
Yeah.
So you right now, you're saying, what should I do now? Because you feel like blowing up the spot. You said
What's
you
up,
were spiteful.
Richard?
So your advice, you want advice to say, what's your next step?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Just clarity. I just want to make sure that the court hears what she's saying. She found out that he has a family 5 months ago. She had sex with him 3 months ago.
Right.
And now she's wondering what she should do in terms of moving in a relationship with this man.
Are you still at the house?
Right. There we go.
Huh? She said, yeah.
I told you.
You gonna lie
I told
to us
you.
on TV. It's crazy.
I told you. She said no, or did she say yeah? She said no, or she said yeah.
Huh?
Family 5 months ago. She had sex with him 3 months ago. And now she's wondering what she should do in terms of moving in a relationship with this man.
Are you still at the house?
Yup.
Huh? She said,
Yeah.
yup. Yeah, all right.
You gonna lie to us on TV? It's crazy.
All right, you still
I'm
at the
finna be a
house.
fucking face
All right, you still at the house. All right. Okay. Kitty, what's your initial thoughts?
Tell the fucking truth, Kitty.
Just initial thoughts.
Oh my
She
God.
fucking for the rent.
Baby, your story stressed me out. Let me start there. You found out 5 months ago
Yeah.
she slept with him 3 months ago after
Yeah.
finding out that he has a family, and she still stay there after finding out that he still has a family with a white picket fence and a dog and a mama and everything else, right? You found that out and you still chose to stay in this home, and you still chose 2 months after finding out about that to sleep with this person. You know you wrong, right?
I know.
He was wrong first, but as soon as you found that, it became your responsibility to leave him alone. And you made a choice not to leave him alone. Why you still staying in that house?
I'm in the process of moving.
How long that's gonna take you?
Now, Chad, I called this shit. I called it. I have never seen this video before. I called this shit. I knew she was staying in the house because that's how this shit go. She was getting crack for the rent. I can't make this. She was getting crack for the rent. When the I told y'all this 8 minutes ago, she's still living in that house. She knew he had a wife. She just couldn't stomach it when she seen it. But she didn't move out. She still let him crack. Come on, bruh. This shit is going on, bruh. This shit going on.
Huh?
How long that's gonna take you?
Next week at this point.
Is it free rent?
Do you,
Was the house
okay,
free
hold on.
rent?
Do you
Yes.
do you see anything wrong with the situation?
Everything's wrong with it.
From your end?
Was the house
Okay,
free
hold on.
rent?
Do you,
Why they didn't answer his question? Is the rent free? That's the important shit. See, this nigga on to something, man. Let him ask the question. Don't try to swipe over there, Kitty. Is rent free? Because if rent is free, she paying with that ass. She paying with that ass. What she been in the crib, she let him crack 3 months ago. She's lying. She let him crack on the first. She let him crack on the first, bruh. I don't want to hear this shit.
do you see anything wrong with the situation?
Everything's wrong with it.
From your end, not from him. From your end.
Everything's wrong with it.
From your end.
Yes.
With what you still doing now.
Yes, I feel like a dummy for being
Are you
there.
still communicating with this man?
Huh?
Are you still?
And then we got a motherfucker like you coming here, Josh, talking about fix your culture and stop blaming white people. Get your ass on. Ain't nobody even talking about white people or nothing. You obsessed with niggas, bro. It's people like you that wake up and think about black people all day long. You ain't got no black neighbors, no black coworkers. You don't live around no black people. You don't shop with black people, but you scroll the YouTube streets all day long talking about black fatigue and shit. It's crazy, bro. I can't with you niggas. I can't with you niggas.
Still communicating with him?
No, we not really communicating.
You said y'all not really. What's that mean?
Meaning, if he got something he want to tell me, and I know it's just gonna sound
No,
bad,
baby.
this is embarrassing. If he got something he want to tell me, he might like send it to my son or something.
Yo, who?
Your son.
And then you got Save America talking about shut up. We don't want to live around you people. That's why you gonna have some mixed grandkids, nigga. That's why you gonna have some mixed grandkids. It's gonna be a young track star, basketball player, football player, putting a foot long inside of your daughter. Boy, you gonna have some mixed kids talking like that.
He got the son number. It's stepdaddy season. Listen, you better stay in that house till the sheriff come and kick you the fuck out. I want you to save every penny for that mortgage. Don't ask no more questions. You got everything you need to know, but rent is high.
Yeah, he gonna be mad at motherfucker at Thanksgiving. Mad as fuck. Nigga gonna be in there eating all the ham and shit. He ain't gonna bring nothing but a pack of cups in there, man. Y'all gonna get the grill and shit going. He gonna have his toes out in his Yeezy slides, kissing on your daughter all upside her head. And you ain't gonna say shit. You ain't gonna say shit.
Motherfucker. Stack your coin, okay? Stack the coin. Don't ask no more questions.
But what about the woman who's at home with their children thinking that this man is faithful? Hold on.
No,
Hear me
she
out.
don't think that.
Tell that nigga
she
you
don't
want
think that.
15,000 or you going over there.
No, hold on. Stop.
All right, Dr.
Hold
Brian.
on.
Now ask me how I know. Ask me how I know, chat. Ask me how I know, chat, because I was that nigga in the crib with the damn Yeezy slides on, no socks, toes out, walking all through the crib, looking around and shit. Yeah, I was that nigga going in the refrigerator looking and shit, man. I was him. Yeah, ask me how I know.
Because if we gonna keep it real, can we keep it real in here? The woman who's at home with the kids also know what kind of dude she got too. Let's not play stupid. And I'm gonna say this to you, baby, and I'm gonna wrap it with love, okay? It sounds like you went, and I'm saying this to be gentle, it sounds like you went into it thinking that you was the girlfriend. I don't know how when he wasn't there many nights. But now that it's very clear that you were the side piece, are you okay with staying the side piece?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so if you are not okay.
She lying. She's lying. See, this is the thing. Now that she knows and she has confirmation, she know that he not gonna let her fuck in that house. She can't move a nigga in that house. She can't have niggas coming in and out the house. I know he got cameras up. He got cameras on that crib right now. Wish she would bring a nigga through there. She's kicked out. She's lying. That's the only reason she mad now. She know that he going home to crack his wife and shit like that, and she can't have no action in her crib. She got niggas she want to bring through the crib and shit. He got cameras out there. Who is that cop? Who just pulled up in that 392? Who just pulled up in that damn Dodge Ram? Yeah, he looking around and shit. Ain't none of that going on. None of that going on.
Okay with being the side piece, then what is your decision, baby?
I'm leaving.
You doing what?
I'm leaving.
Say it a little louder.
I'm leaving.
There you go. She's got her decision.
Question. I mean, it's just like
Hey, wait,
loosely.
before she walk off, like, look, we all human.
Get the likes up, chat.
I live by something, and it's like, you're 20, you said you're 29, right? You said you're 29?
Yes.
So I feel like your 20s, it's okay to make mistakes. You made a mistake. Just learn from it and move on. Like, you know what you're supposed to do. You know that. Don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad, because a lot of people in this audience are going through the same thing. They just not brave enough to step up to that mic. And
Yes, I'm telling y'all they going through it. I'm from a small town. I'm just gonna be all the way honest with you, chat. One of my teachers, bro, her husband was a landlord on a bunch of houses around here, bro. And I'm telling you, he was getting his tenants pregnant, bro. And I know it wasn't a good feeling for her, because shit, I was still in school and I knew about it. It's like, damn, listen, chat, I rented a house from him one time. He tried to crack my bitch. I swear to God. I rented a crib from him one time. I was paying $325 a month for rent, bro. But it was through her name. The girl I was with, he tried to crack my bitch for that $325. Swear to God, bro.
admit it. So don't beat yourself up. It's life. We're human. It happens. Move on. Just clean slate. You don't need to let his wife know. That's not your business. Just take what you learned and move on.
Clean slate, as clean as it's
I
gonna be.
would send a note. A note. Thank you for your question.
Yeah,
I
and really
appreciate it.
quick, I want to say this to you, and don't feel like the other woman is winning, because nobody's winning in this situation. He's a womanizer. That man is a no good dude. So take it as a blessing that you now know.
Man, what do you mean maybe you should be better to each other, man? I know you're not talking. The trad dads buying all the coochie. Y'all know you not talking. Listen, we talking about black folks right now, but the trad dads is the ones buying all the coochie. Who do you think? Why do you think they said prostitution numbers shot up for the damn World Cup? Black folks don't watch soccer, nigga. The black folks don't watch soccer. Why all these escorts running to these World Cup cities, man? Listen, that's the trad dads buying that ass, man. The trad dads buying that ass. Chill out. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Know what you know. And don't feel like no one has one up. Pivot and do your thing.
And make sure, baby, that you find you some homegirls and some FBI agents. Because they're going to find out by week 2.
I think we also got to acknowledge that all niggas just not created equal. Let's just put the shit on the table. She says she found out 5 months ago.
See, that's the thing, Albert. We talking about black Americans here, man. When I'm talking about black people, just know I'm talking about black Americans.
Had sex 3 months ago. So that means 2 months after I found out, what's the mindset 2 months for these 2 months up until the 3 of like why I'm not walking or why I'm not leaving? I found out this man has a whole family. He got a girl. He got 3 kids. All that shit.
She's living rent free, getting crack once a month. She get cracked 12 times a year. Let's be honest. The crib he probably got her in, let's just throw it at $1,000 a rent. He's paying lights, utilities, and everything because it was his house, right? That means everything was owned when she moved in. She said she was asking why he's not coming home and shit. So that means he's paying the water, he's paying the lights, and he owns the house, so it ain't no rent, man. That's why she's still there. If she wasn't with him, she would be fucking the next nigga, asking him to pay the rent. Same situation. It's just right here, right now, she got her own shit. She just can't bring nobody in there because I know he got cameras on the spot. Let's get into this divorce lawyer right here. This is the divorce lawyer talking about why men are choosing not to get married. Why men in 2026 are choosing not to get married.
Marriages I know, okay? The man provides financially. He protects.
Hold on, Chad. Everybody hit the like button on your way in. I gotta fix this to where we can see the entire video. All right, I fixed it. There we go. Now we can see the entire video.
Marriage from a man's perspective, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Most of the marriages I know, okay? The man provides financially. He protects, right? Yeah. He's also there to be part of the family dynamic, taking care of kids, doing the things that he can do. What does the woman bring? She brings love, affection, a little bit of sweetness at the end of the day, sex. She brings, taking care of kids. Okay, if you get divorced, every single thing on that side of the man equation, he can be compelled to do by the power of the state, and if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing.
I ain't gonna lie, Chad, my parents were married for a long time, and when they divorced, my OG show asked for some alimony. My mom definitely asked for some alimony, and my pops definitely wasn't going for that shit. He was not going for the alimony. He left her damn near everything, though, like the house, the cars, everything, but he wasn't going for the alimony shit for sure.
On that other side, the female side is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation about what we could both be afraid of and what value we want to attribute
But the court can't force you to protect your wife, and the court can't force you to make...
Chat, I need everyone to hit the like button. Please, hit the like button on your way in. We have to get the likes up in here. We just came back. I know I haven't streamed in a few days, but please hit the like button on your way in. We're 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. And if you want a plug sack Zybag on the last stream, I will have that shipped out this week.
State, and if he fails to do it, they can put him in jail. Nothing on that other side, the female side, is enforceable at law. The court cannot order her to be nice to you, to fuck you, to be a wonderful mother to your children. She can't. They can't force that. So when you have a contract where only one side of it is enforceable with the power of the state and the other side is not, my attitude is, why don't we then just have an honest conversation about what we could both be afraid of and what value we want to attribute.
But the court can't force you to protect your wife, and the court can't force you to make money
economically.
So, in so many words, he was saying get a prenup.
They can force you to. They can force you to protect somebody. You can, like, I've had cases where the court says, okay, this person needs a security detail. If it's a celebrity, they say these kids are going to need security for when they go to school, things like that.
But the average person, like, can the court say you have to work? to a dad?
Well, what the courts say is Lincoln freed the slaves. If your financial status at the moment you were getting divorced determined what your obligations were, everybody quit their fucking job the minute they were getting divorced.
Right.
So what the courts say is, like, if you're a brain surgeon who now I'm getting divorced, I decided I want to be a fucking yoga teacher.
Right.
The court goes, look, Lincoln freed the slaves. We can't make you be a brain surgeon. You're just going to be you're going to be a yoga teacher who has the financial obligations of a brain surgeon.
Oh, wow.
So they impute an income to you.
Oh, really?
And they'll say, whatever you do for a living, it's fine. We can't.
I'm not gonna lie, chap. My friend, he had twins, right? And he had his twins 4 days a week. Now, mind you, him and his baby mom had a custody situation going on. He had the kids 4 days a week. He still got hit for like $1,000 a month on child support. And he ended up losing his job because the situation happened at his job, and they would not go to court and readjust his child support. And he ended up losing his license and everything over that shit. But now the situation is better. He got his license back. I believe the custody situation is better. They kind of got a extended family where, like, him and his new girlfriend, they all get together with his baby mama and her new boyfriend. They all take pictures and shit together. But for a while, it was messed up. Like, he had the kids 4 days a week and was still getting smacked $1,000 a month child support. Crazy.
Force you to work, but we can give you financial obligations commensurate with your earning capacity, even if you're not earning at that capacity.
Wow.
Which is actually really
That's
fucked up sometimes. Yeah. Like, I had a client once who was an air traffic controller. And if you know anything about air traffic controllers, like, you can have a high school education, be an air traffic controller, make like $300,000-400,000 grand a year.
Wow.
Like, you can do really, really well. Well, this guy, his mother passed away. He was very close with her. He had a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression from it, and he had to go on medication.
Nah, see, Dwayne, the thing about it is that as a man, he didn't want to, press the issue. So it was a situation to where on paper, I guess she was the primary caretaker and all of that. But as far as the kids was on his insurance because he had the job, and her situation, I don't know what was going on, but he had to have the kids 4 days a week. And he wasn't going to say no to the kids. He wasn't going to tell his kids, like, nah, y'all can't come over here because I'm paying child support. So he ended up paying $1,000 a month, $500 per kid, and he had the kids 4 days a week. Sometimes 5 days a week. I remember that shit. Like, I was like, damn, bro, I hope it gets better for you.
Psychiatric medication to, like, sort of deal with it. You're not allowed to be on benzodiazepines or certain psychiatric medications while you're in air traffic control, so he was terminated from his position. The next best job this guy could get, he made about $50,000 a year. But the court was like, no.
You still got to.
Your earning capacity is $350,000 a year. That's what you made. And we were like, Judge, what job can this guy get where he's going to make that amount of money? So it can sometimes, this is how guys end up in jail for not paying support.
So what did he do?
It's not their fault.
So what did he do?
He suffered, basically, yeah. I mean, he had a very unfair child support award placed against him. He ended up in jail a couple of times. It was a really...
Because he was, like, selling drugs or something to make the money?
No, he just was not... He didn't pay his support. It's illegal to not pay.
It is illegal to not pay your child support. I seen a few people in jail before with like 40,000 behind. I seen some people like 8,000 behind, some people 2,500 behind, and their whole thing is that, like, bro, I have my kids. Like, I have my kids all the time, like 5 days a week, 4 days a week. Like, I'm the one picking them up from school, and then he's just like, I don't, a lot of times they don't know how to fight the system, or they choose not to fight the system, and they end up in a messed up situation. And the baby mama's gonna run into him like, oh, I had to do this so the kids can have benefits, or I had to do this because of that. And a lot of times it's just spiteful. It's just being in spite. Some shit go on, she run down there and put that paperwork in your life. I am blessed to have a baby mama that I have, because she don't do no shit like that.
Gentlemen, I got another incredible interview. I have been waiting to interview this young lady. She's absolutely phenomenal. Wait till I show you the clip that really made me want to interview her. But I got to give a quick rundown of who she is. Her name is Dee Foster. She is a communication strategist, PR.
So this is Brandon Tatum. He's about ready to bash Martin Luther King. So this is what I was telling y'all before. I haven't watched this yet, but he's about to bring on this lady. They're about to bash MLK. I know what they're going to say. They're going to say that, black people were better off during segregation and shit. They're trying to negate everything that the prominent figures of black history have done. They make it seem like the shit George Washington Carver didn't mean nothing. They say, well, we know what they say about Obama. He was the first mixed president. They say they tear down Malcolm X because he was a Muslim. Now they saying Martin Luther King was was doing the night before he was assassinated, talking about how he was getting his freak on or whatever. They want to tear. They talking about what else? A lot of these women that were civil rights leaders, they try to attribute them like, oh no, that was really a white woman. That really wasn't a black woman. So it's a lot going on right now. They're trying to separate us from our prominent figures in black history. And Officer Tatum is one of these prime culprits that does this shit every fucking day.
Expert writer. She works with Chad O. Jackson. She helped him with the Martin Luther King Project, the documentary, a docu-series that they put out, which was absolutely incredible. But here's the part that's incredible to me. 17-time first-team All-American gymnast and the first black gymnast at the University of Alabama.
See, y'all are looking at it from a different angle. Y'all are looking at it like he loved white females and he was control opposition and loved white females. I'm looking at it like MLK was what the fuck we had. Every black household had an MLK hanging up in there. Every black person in America wore a shirt with MLK face on it. It was damn. They used to have the damn Nelson Mandela pictures everywhere, the MLK pictures everywhere, the Malcolm X pictures everywhere, and then when Obama came, they had that nigga everywhere. Like, chill out, cut it out, cut it out. Cut it out. You niggas had MLK hung up in the crib. You niggas had MLK on T-shirts and Air Force Ones and shit. Cut it out. Cut it out.
Absolutely incredible. But let me show y'all the clip real quick because I didn't know who Dee was at first, and then I saw this clip and I said, I have to interview her. I noticed she's brilliant. Then I found all these wonderful things out about her afterwards. But let's play the clip that I saw first for Dee, and then we're going to get into it.
The black community is doing so much worse now than we were even like 15 minutes after slavery. Yeah. And I'm not kidding. There was a thriving black community in the days after slavery. Hi, Frederick Douglass. In the days before the civil rights movement, there were, more businesses owned, more homes owned. Family unit was intact, a mom and a dad in the home.
See how they ruling on birthright citizenship. Then you got this is a soft lunch. This is a soft lunch to undo the Civil Rights Act. That Charlie Kirk shit saying we need to undo the Civil Rights Act. This is the same talking point Officer Tatum has. And now that they got this birthright citizenship being ruled on and TPS ending, y'all gotta watch this shit, bro. Watch these people, man. Watch these people. These are the same people that are used as proxies. These people right here are used as proxies. They're on that ending civil rights type shit. I'm telling y'all, bro.
Children being raised in the church, the faith in the God of the Bible was paramount, and the sort of the crucible of how families even came to be in the black community, right? Like that was the common denominator was the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Now y'all know why I'm interviewing her, right? After listening to that, it couldn't have been said better. Help me welcome to the show, Dee Foster.
Hey, Brandon, thanks so much for having me on.
Well, it is my pleasure. I'm so excited to talk to you. It's good to talk to people that have common sense, that's willing to stand up for truth.
Now, when I say these people are proxy, you hear Officer Tatum say it all the time. I'm going to say what the white man can't say. I'm going to say what these white people want to say but can't say. That is a proxy. He's telling you he's a proxy. He's saying, what else could it be? I'm going to get up here and say that I'm going to say this shit. I say it sometimes. I'm going to say what these people won't say. He says that I'm going to say what these white people can't say. It's a proxy. It's a proxy. And he gets paid a lot of money to do it.
And you are one of those individuals. And I want to talk about this idea based on what you said. There is this idea, I think, from the community, and black community, and also the white community that have a lot of white guilt. They tend to skip over generations of black people and the black experience in America. Can you talk to us about that? Because you mentioned a little bit in the clip how they just go all the way, they jump over all of the black success that have happened after slavery to just go back to slavery. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, that was an interview I did with 1819 News and Brian Dawson. And that, we were talking really about the fact that this all started because a black publication in Birmingham had put me in the publication in kind of a roundup story about black women who have done a bunch of really good things in the state of Alabama. And one of the people they featured was a dude pretending to be a woman. And I lost it and I went all the way off. So that's even why I was doing that interview. And I think to your point, what's popular in the culture is to be as victimized and marginalized as the narrative will allow, right? And so we have all of these contributors to that narrative. We have people who are dependent on the.
It's crazy. Martin Luther King wasn't no damn victim. Martin Luther King got up there and became one of the best public speakers that the world has ever seen, one of the best orators. And y'all sitting here kicking his fucking back in. What are you now? We talking about some victimhood shit. Where the fuck does MLK got to do with this shit? This shit is crazy.
The government and have been so generationally. And then we have white liberals who aid and abet that, right? We've had a lot of, especially, really starting in 2020, this thing really escalated. The dude who died of the fentanyl overdose, everybody really used that as an excuse to pretend that black people just can't get a leg up. And I know from
y'all talking about, I brought up MLK. Y'all don't see the damn name of the episode. The name of the episode is MLK was a fraud. D. Foster exposes what MLK was doing the night before he was assassinated. How the fuck I bring up MLK? That's the name of the episode.
My personal experience, that's not my lived experience, right? I've had a very good experience in terms of being able to nurture my gifts, have them nurtured by people, have them developed by people.
It's like, damn, everybody. It's like MLK wasn't good enough. Malcolm X wasn't good enough. Obama wasn't good enough. Damn, Larry Hoover wasn't good enough. Damn, Jeff Fortner wasn't good enough. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? We just gonna tear down everybody, bro. Everybody. And then who are we gonna look to? Who are we gonna look to? After we go through every one of the predominant history figures in black history, kick their fucking backs in, who are we gonna turn to? George Washington, them, we just gonna be just George Washington, all right.
When I was 4 years old, that I had a talent to be upside down and be on my hands and do gymnastics. People kind of swooped in and said, it's our responsibility to nurture this child. It wasn't about my skin color. It wasn't about anything to do with any immutable characteristic. It was about the talent. And the talent was God-given. And so I was very fortunate to have a mom and parents who said, your talent is not your own. This was given to you. It is our responsibility to steward that and to make sure that you are, with the best coaches in the country who can also help you steward it. So this was my experience. And every single one of my coaches was white. Every single one of the judges who judged me, white. I was never discriminated against. This, I didn't, in the whitest, but arguably the whitest sport in America. I was never discriminated against, right? Like there's like gymnastics and figure skating are probably the two whitest sports. And I didn't have a problem. In fact, I had a very opposite experience in that my coaches pushed me hard, not because I was black, but because they said, she's got the thing, like she's got that gift, she's got the talent. We have to develop this as far as it can go. And judges did the same thing. They were hard on me, not because I was black, but because they saw potential in me and they wanted me to not sort of skate by just on raw talent alone, but to actually develop that gift into a skill. So I don't, this whole, and that continued also, Brandon, in my professional life. When I first got into communications right out of college, people just pushed me. And it was not because of the color of my skin. They didn't, move away from me because of the color of my skin or say, you can't do this profession because you're black and most black people don't do this. These are not conversations I had. These are not the kind of people that were around me. I will say that you attract what you think about. So if you're thinking victim, if you're thinking marginalized, if you're thinking I can't get a leg up, if you're thinking the white man has his foot on my neck, you're going to draw that to you. I'm not saying that white people are doing that en masse. I'm saying that you're going to draw sort of that marginalized experience. You're going to draw a victim experience into your life. So I just, I grew up, listening to people like Bear Bryant, like I ain't nothing but a winner. I ain't never been nothing but a winner. So that's kind of like my energy. That's my vibe.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because I've been arguing with Ari Spears, the comedian. That guy, he was in my DM yesterday cussing and acting crazy. And he's mad because I'm not a victim. I haven't been discriminated against in my life that I know of. Maybe somebody did behind my back. Who cares? If I don't notice it, it must not even be effective. And I have a similar experience as you, but I grew up in an all-black neighborhood, but still there were white coaches and people who poured into me. When I went to college, there were white people that poured into me. One of the most pivotal people that had an impact in my life named John, he was a white guy. He helped me, when my kid was very young. He paid for my kid to go to college anywhere he want when he graduated high school. I mean, this guy decided to look out for me, not because I was a black guy. And all that I have done in my life, all of my successes have come from being a good person and not necessarily because the color of my skin, because I have good black people that I work with and I have good white people that I work with. And the people are putting the lenses of racism on and the lenses of victimhood. And like you said, you see it everywhere when you're wearing the lenses. I mean, somebody can be upset with you and flip you off at the stoplight. And if you got the lens of racism on, you think it's because you're black. You think it's because they're racist, not just because they're, a-hole. And so, but here's the thing that I want to hear from you on too, is that you mentioned this gap between black people now and then slavery. There was this middle part where I felt like a lot of not just I feel, it's statistically proven, black people had a tremendous amount of acceleration and success after slavery was abolished, after they were freed. Madam C.J. Walker was one of them. I mean, I know she's one of the most famous, but like what late 1800s, early 1900s, she was the first female millionaire. I mean, you have Black Wall Street in Oklahoma.
Now, what happened to that shit? What happened to Black Wall Street in Oklahoma? That's the thing. These people like to tell half of the fucking story, the proxies. What happened to Black Wall Street? They dropped bombs on that motherfucker, chat. They dropped bombs on it, man. Like we in the fucking Middle East, a third world country, they dropped bombs on that motherfucker because those black people were successful. Chill out. If you're going to bring up Black Wall Street and all of that, tell the whole fucking story. Tell what happened to them people.
Have, you can go down the list. Harlem, all of these black successes. For some reason, black people that are victims, they look over this. Can you explain this period of time and how black people were successful?
Well, I mean, being a victim is very profitable today. That's the truth. I mean, it's, there's a greater payoff to keep dragging the past into the present and hurling it toward the future. There's a greater payoff for some people to do that rather than to actually apply themselves to a skill, discover what God-given gifts they've been given, because everyone has been given some God-given gifts, usually more than one. But it's easier to sort of rest on.
See, when I dropped that fact, they came here wanting to hear all that cute shit. When I dropped that real shit about how they dropped bombs on it, you say Detroit, yeah. And they had the massacres in Alabama where they went through there, killed whole towns of people. Let's be real. Yes, there were black areas that were thriving economically. I know some all black towns right now. I know some towns where everybody's black right now. We got to tell the whole story. I see y'all in here saying bye, putting a little lion emoji. No, go look it up. What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma to Black Wall Street? They dropped bombs on that motherfucker.
On the laurels of if I complain enough, if I join this group enough, if I act, bliggity enough, I said what I said. If I engage in all of this sort of nefarious activity and pretend that I'm suffering the same kinds of things that people in Frederick Douglass's era suffered, then I'm going to get free stuff. I'm going to get a break when I screw up. I'm going to be able to screw up as much as I want to and not.
You said who is they? YT supremacists Actually, I believe it was the sheriff. I think it was the sheriff's them that did it. I think the sheriff actually is the one who dropped the bombs.
Suffer any consequences. I think there's a couple things that are really at play and kind of at the foundation of that mentality, that where the gap is ignored, the gap where Black people were thriving, Black people were homeowners, Black people were getting married, having children, successful families. They were God-fearing, they were going to church, and not just going to church. They were living.
That's what they say. They say privately owned or commercially owned airplanes. They say it wasn't military aircraft. It said it was a privately owned or commercially owned, probably based in Tulsa. There were about 15 planes stored locally. The exact owners of the planes used in the massacre were not definitively identified, but were almost certainly civilian operators.
Living out the gospel of Jesus Christ. Like, they were walking in authority in the earth, right? Ignoring that gap is profitable for Black people, some Black people. And unfortunately, I personally believe that it's a large majority of the 13%, which is extraordinarily sad. But there's a couple things that are at play. There's no fear of.
Ty, who the fuck is you talking to? Ty, who is you talking about, Ty? Don't come in here drunk like that, Ty. See, Ty, don't be like that, man. I'm gonna have to call you out, Ty.
God. There's no fear of consequences. And I personally also believe that the rise of the matriarchy, the rise of feminism is very much at the root. We are now for the very first time, the very first fatherless generation who are now young adults, and they were all raised by women who hate men. This is a phenomenon. This has never happened before. And it is this, it's this ethnicity where it is the most prevalent and where it is the most pronounced. And I believe that, sort of this cycle that people keep sort of going in and out of, right? Where there's government dependency, where there's way too many women raising boys, and I'm talking about like a gaggle of geese, like a hen house, and there's one boy or two boys, and there's no male influence. There's no out.
Hey, listen, Adam says the host sounds like someone people will pay extra to stay away from. Adam, you don't have to pay $1 to stay away from me because I just got you the fuck up out of here. Everybody tell Adam good night. He won't be back. Since he would pay to stay away from me, we're just gonna give him a $10 off coupon and get him the fuck up out of here.
Alpha male influence. And I'm talking about biblical alpha male. I just did a post about this. That is really sort of permeating the culture. But not just the Black culture. It's permeating every culture. It's permeating society. It's permeating this country. And so I'm concerned that this what sort of maybe began as the civil rights movement, which was a farce, which was a fraud, which was a Marxist ideology permeating the government and the country.
See, this how Todd is, y'all. Todd's an emotional drunk, man. He's been on the channel for like 2 years. Sometimes he comes in here and nut rides. Other times he comes in here throwing tomatoes. So y'all don't mind Todd. He's the town drunk, man. You know, the guy that's just stumbling outside of the bar smelling like old grapes and shit, man. You know, with one boot on, that's Todd, man. He's the town drunk. He's a little emotional. Don't mind him, Chad. He's all right. He's all right. He don't mean no harm.
That in and of itself is, the most inauspicious beginnings of what we're seeing today. But I think now there's been sort of like, it's like a wild hare at this point. Like, people are we're careening off a mountain with this at this point. People do not care at all about their decisions having consequences for other people. They don't care. That's why you're able to see wanton murder, wanton assault. Just absolutely recklessness and carelessness for the human condition. That is happening now in the Black community. And it's making me wonder if, was there like a kill switch in the jab? Like, what is actually happening here? Because this is not normal behavior.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to kind of the residual effect of not having a father, strong leadership. Because I figured this a while ago. What happens is that if you don't have a dad as a young girl, right, and you grew up in the house with your mama, and a lot of times, I don't know. I'm not a girl, so I don't know, but this is just my opinion. A lot of times mama and daughter bump heads. And that's why, having a father gives that balance. So mama and daughter bumping heads.
What's up, Damage?
Daughter has never seen what a real man look like. daughter has only seen what mama's imagination of a man is in her mind that she's never been able to capture anyway. So a young lady grow up resenting the fact she has no dad, resenting men just as well as her mom resents men. And then you grow up thinking, I don't need a man, I'm independent. And that young lady goes out and lives that out. And then she ends up with men who she hate because he has to be a beta male to even want to deal.
This is the thing, though, that I don't understand. Like, when is this conversation going to change? Because I promise you, I know a lot of white, Latina, single baby mamas, man. Trust me, Chad. I mean, trust me. I know a lot of white and Latino baby mamas out here, man. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. So when are we going to hold them accountable? When we going to hold them accountable? The fuck is going on?
Deal with that, or she's with no man, but she's sexually active with men. Therefore, then she have children, and then when you have a boy, as a woman who hates men, I don't need a man. You have a boy, and you have never been able to capture a good man, and you've never seen one. You create this fake man in your mind, and you try to make your son that fake man, the one that's gangster, but he's also a doctor. You know what I'm saying? All this old crazy stuff that's unimaginable. And then that young man grows up. He doesn't have a dad. He never had a man tell him, I love you, I'm proud of you. Then he becomes to try to get validation from other things, either gangs, violence, trying to prove himself. And all of those things continue to matriculate through the community over time. And I think it's just destructive, and we're seeing it. Just like you said earlier, we're seeing it. These YNs going out here doing takeovers. And before we get back to the show, I want to tell you guys about Synergy. If you're tired of no synthetic stimulant over, people willing to talk about it.
That's exactly right. And the few people who are willing to talk about it, of course, are demonized and told, I've been called every, coon and Uncle Tom and Auntie Tom and bootlicker and fill in the blank. I mean, whatever. It's white noise.
I'm gonna just call you a proxy. That's what I'm gonna call you, a proxy.
Pardon the pun, to me now. and I, but the point is this, and this brings up another interesting point, Brandon, because my whole life, I always heard that I wasn't black enough, that I was, I talked like white people, and I wanted to be white, and I was called half-breed and Creole and all of the things that people of my complexion, I say that I'm butterscotch, but a lot of people of my complexion sort of get that sort of knife in the back, right? When you're going, hang on, wait, I thought I was in this community. I thought I was in the community at large, and I thought my sort of sub community was black people. But now you're telling me I'm out. I'm not invited to the cookout. So that is very confusing to a child. I was very fortunate, though, to have had parents who checked it quick. They hard checked it, and it was a non-issue, and I was able to. It was water off a duck's back,
So what the hell is she talking about? Is she mixed or something? Like, what the hell is she talking about? What the hell does she mean she wasn't black? Is she mixed or something?
When I heard it henceforth. But it's a very confusing thing to hear that you're not okay because of the color. And again, an immutable characteristic. I was born exactly the way God wanted me to be born. Right. Exactly the hue, exactly the shade. As are white people, as are Asian people, as are Mexican people, everybody is exactly as God designed them to be in his image. So if black people have such a problem with white people, then what are they saying about God is my question.
Right. I love that you said that. I'm hoping that people can retain into their consciousness some of the things that we're saying. Two things, because I got about 5 minutes left. I want to make it short and sweet for you. We have to do this again if you have time. But two things, I just real quick about Martin Luther King, and then I want to talk about your foundation that you started, right? And so Martin Luther King is a hot topic. Ever since I met Chad Jackson and I saw some of the things that he discovered, and obviously you both have developed something that I guess you guys put out the MLK Project. Ever since I saw that, I started to really turn away from Martin Luther King and all the ideas that we have been lied to and told that we should embrace and that it was best for our society. I always questioned Martin Luther King because of the fact that the desegregation part, the forced desegregation, and forcing us into these white schools when black people had their own schools and transportation, and they had an opportunity.
Now, Officer Tatum, all of this shit you doing, and now you mad at MLK for what the fuck he did. MLK paved the way for you, nigga. And what are you talking about, bro? Officer Tatum, if anybody should be thanking the ground MLK walked on, it should be you, nigga. What are we talking about here? He paved the way for you, nigga.
To kind of build a foundation, and then they can desegregate, just like every other culture has done. You know, the Chinese, they got a Chinatown. You know, the Jewish people got Jewish coalitions that they work together to get.
This nigga Officer Tatum, don't he got a white wife? Like, you would have been hung, nigga, if it weren't for motherfuckers like MLK putting in work, marching and shit, doing these damn speeches. Your ass would have been tied to the back of a Dodge Ram, drugged down a fucking dirt road. What are you talking about, nigga? What?
Get an established foundation. And so when I started thinking about that, I didn't really like kind of his perspective. And then when I saw all the other stuff, but just in a very short, I guess, synopsis, can you explain what you think of Martin Luther King and the movement, and how it affects America today?
Yeah, I mean, I'm.
This nigga forgot how they did Emmett Till. This nigga forgot how they did Emmett Till, bro. Oh my God, bro. What?
I'm the stepdaughter of a man who marched with King. My stepdad was born and raised in Birmingham. This was something that we were all very proud of in my family growing up, right? And so I am definitely now sort of like the ostracized, oh my God, he would roll over in his grave if he knew what you were saying right now kind of person in my family. But the reality is this, and this is why I was so honored to work with Chad on the MLK project, is because at the underpinning of all of Chad's work is Christ in him crucified, period. And what really Martin Luther King was preaching was not the gospel of the kingdom. He was preaching the gospel.
Basically, Officer Tatum saying he's mad at Martin Luther King for helping him have the life that he has now. I'm pretty sure he has a big house. He's able to get on YouTube, pander to a white community. I believe his wife is white, mixed family and shit. And he wants to kick in MLK's back. The nigga that had a dream, the nigga that had a dream. If he feels this way about MLK, I can only imagine how he feels about Malcolm X, because he was a Muslim. You know this nigga Officer Tatum hates Islam. He hates Islam, so I know he didn't like Malcolm X. Oh my God.
Of social justice. And so that is sort of like an infiltration that was very methodical. Like I said, it's Marxist ideology. It was, I mean, he was a known communist. He went to a communist seminary. He was, you know, Stanley Levison was his right-hand man, his speechwriter. All of them speeches were plagiarized and or ghostwritten. And so he really, King was an...
Like, this shit is like a damn, I don't even know the word for it, other than hypocritical. This lady just sat up here and said all of these white families took care of her. Officer Tatum just said all of these white families helped him do this and do that and shit. And now they sitting here kicking in MLK back, the nigga that had a dream that helped all of this shit come to fruition. You think them niggas, if it weren't for me and MLK, nigga, you wouldn't have been in them houses, nigga. You wouldn't have been flipping on them gymnastic bars and shit. Yo ass, Officer Tatum, you would have still been in Stop 6 cripping, nigga, if it wasn't for MLK. What are we talking about?
Absolute fraud, but he was also a useful idiot. And by idiot, I mean, the Bible says that anyone who denies the deity of Christ is a fool. So I'm calling him an idiot from that perspective. This is someone who had a picture of Gandhi over his dinner table in his house. This is a person who said that, you know, all religions and all ideologies about religions are welcome and in terms of the kingdom. It's not true. So,
man, without MLK and them niggas would still be on the corner with newspapers and fucking bow ties trying to be able to vote and shit. Niggas would still be on the corner with bow ties and damn newspapers trying to get into better schools and get damn books and shit. If it wasn't for motherfuckers like MLK, the Little Rock Nine, and all of them, niggas would still be on the corner in fucking suits and top hats getting hit with water hoses and shit, man. Just cut it out.
You're going to be hard pressed to find him actually talking about Jesus and talking about the gospel ever. So what he talked about was the marginalized Black person and marching and I am a man and that somehow that the government was the arbiter of how Black people are to be judged in society. The government is the arbiter of determining the value of Black people. We need this, and the government has to give it to us. So it was all about getting Black people to suck from the government teat generationally. That is the problem I have with Martin Luther King, that he literally denied the deity of Christ. He denied the virgin birth. He denied the resurrection, and he taught the gospel of social justice to Black people as a replacement theory for the gospel. That's the issue I have with him.
Oh my goodness. I think people gonna be mad, but I don't.
Now she kicking in his back as a reverend. They just kicking Martin Luther King all down the street. Kicking in his back as a reverend. It's crazy.
Don't care because Martin Luther King, and then with what
He's
you
a sacred
said,
cow. He's a sacred cow.
with what you said, it's obviously true. It's evidence. You guys had a documentary out. All the evidence is there. People don't like it, then they need to go do their research and quit being silly. But also, he got caught in the orgies and all kind of other stuff that the government was tracking him. He was doing all kinds of stuff.
Correct.
That man supposed to be a pastor. I know everybody ain't perfect, but brother, you doing that and you supposed to be Martin Luther King?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's on record. I mean, you can hear Vince Ellison talking about this in the documentary. He's on record talking. He was abusive toward women. The night before he was assassinated, he had committed adultery twice, and was physically abusive to a woman. So that all happened like in one night, like that, one night. The night before he was assassinated. So, and there was even some talk about that he needed to be brought.
Ain't nobody gonna talk about all these pastors touching and shit. They worried about Martin Luther King getting a little ass and whatever happened in that room, but they ain't gonna talk about these pastors touching kids and shit. They ain't gonna talk about that. Fuck all that.
Under control. They were looking to replace him because his activity was so nefarious. So he had really, this was not a person who was a man of God. He was not. The church and the Bible and whenever he chose to insert God, it was a front. He was really ushering in Marxist ideology and communism into this country. And he was an eloquent orator, right? He was able to speak. He spoke very well. His cadence and his diction and all of that was very infectious to people. And so that was used. Stanley Levison really used that to the communist advantage. And
nobody talking about damn Ken Paxton. Shit, they bring in damn Bibles in the schools. Abbott won't pass damn free lunches. You got Ken Paxton out with his side bitch all in public and shit. They got a new $2.5 million household, but we want to kick Martin Luther King from the grave. We want to dig his grave up and toss him around. Yeah, this shit is crazy.
And he was a mark. King was a mark. And again, useful idiot. He was used by the Communist Party and by Marxists to drive those ideologies into this country and to prey on the most vulnerable group of people, which was Black people. Why? Because they had already started to abandon the faith.
You know what, D? It's just crazy that, and I look at it most.
But they not gonna say nothing about Malcolm, huh? They're not gonna say nothing about Malcolm because he was Muslim. They not gonna, everything that they're getting on to Martin about and all of that shit. What about Malcolm? Malcolm wasn't for integration. Malcolm wasn't for none of that shit, but they won't say nothing about Malcolm because he was a Muslim. That's what I'm saying, Chad. You got to watch these people and know these proxies, man. You got to watch these people and know these proxies.
Most of the Black leaders that we are told to look up to are all just terrible. I don't know if we can find any that would have a statue that you can walk up to and be proud of. Because Martin Luther King wasn't what they said he was. You know, Jesse Jackson and all these other guys, they were not, they didn't do us well. And then our first black president, quote unquote, Barack Obama is terrible.
That's what I'm saying. He's trying to take away everything, bro. Nobody was perfect. Who was perfect, Officer Tatum, other than Jesus? Since we Bible thumping, who was perfect other than Jesus? But no, he wants to strip away all of the prominent all of the prominent figures in black history. Obama, MLK. I don't give a damn. You know, Jesse Jackson's not here to defend himself. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. And he won't even mention Malcolm X because he knows as much shit as he shields for that lobby over there, he wouldn't dare mention Malcolm X. He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't even bring up Malcolm because he don't want that smoke. He don't want that smoke from them, bro. He don't want that smoke from the Muslims, and he know he just can't. He ain't gonna bring up Malcolm. He ain't gonna talk about Malcolm, Farrakhan. He gonna leave that shit alone.
Terrible too. He want to push Marxism and as a black person, if you're informed, you can't be proud of any of these people. I mean, you know, you got LeBron James, who I think LeBron James does an incredible job at not, you know, cheating on his wife and doing a lot of public shenanigans. But what is he doing? Pushing victimhood. What is you know, they love Colin Kaepernick, pushing victimhood and lies. Who else did they have out there? Bubba Wallace. You know,
talking about they're not prominent figures, but y'all bringing Kid Rock to the fucking America 250 and shit. Y'all got Kid Rock out here at America 250 like he just meant something to the fucking country, but y'all want to say MLK and these other people didn't mean shit. They weren't prominent. They were worms. Obama, MLK, Malcolm, them wasn't shit. But we got Kid Rock at the fucking America 2. Man, I ain't even gonna do it.
You know, one of the first
y'all got it.
NASCAR drivers.
Y'all
and
got it.
He an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Smollett. Smollett. He that fool. Ain't nobody watching that show anyway, except black people and probably women, because ain't no man watching the gay dude on the show.
I've never seen an episode of one.
But what does he do? He has this platform, and he's a liar and a fraud. I mean, we got I forget his name. That fool Chase Ambulance. Every time somebody gets in trouble or a black person gets killed by a white person, you see him. Benjamin Crump. You know, one of the most prominent lawyers we got is a crook. I mean,
Sharpton.
Al Sharpton. What is the other guy that's supposed to have that school?
And this is what I'm trying to say. Where is all of this holier than thou shit coming from, bro? If these people know Jesus was the only one that was perfect, where is all of this holier than thou shit coming from? Nigga, you was a Crip. You was from Stop 6 Crippin', man, talking about you was in the hood thugging, man. Where is all this holier than thou shit coming from, bro? I'm just trying to figure it out. This shit is crazy, man. This shit is crazy. They told me the only man to walk this earth that was perfect was Jesus. Where is all this holier than thou shit coming from, bro?
Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh, God.
He's supposed to be prominent. Fraud. I mean,
I agree with him there. Umar on some bullshit, but Umar is on some bullshit with that school.
I wish we can get some people that are, because all the good people they try to suppress and they go, oh, you're a sellout, Uncle Tom Coon, bootlicker, you work for the white man, and they shun us out of the community. D.L. Hughley is another one that.
Because why, nigga? Like, you don't mean us no good, nigga. That's why. Niggas get on here, kick MLK, all these damn prominent black figures backs in and wonder why they not accepted. Nigga, you just fucking spit on us, nigga. What are you talking about? Act like you want to be here, nigga.
I mean, we love D.L. Hughley. Until he went crazy. Eric Spears was one of my favorite comedians. He was one of my favorites. And that fool in my DM saying I'm crazy and I'm cooning for the white man. So anyway, I know we're running low on time. I just want you to give a quick pitch of your nonprofit, because I know you're doing a lot of things for women in sports. And can you give us a quick synopsis about that, and then tell us where we can follow you on social media?
Yeah, so Saving Title IX is the nonprofit. We are just at the infancy stages of launching. So we're in the process right now of even just filing for our 501c3. But I was kind of thrust into activity with it when last year when Simone Biles lost her mind on Riley Gaines. So I obviously am a Title IX athlete. I would not have had the gymnastics career I have if not for Title IX. So I'm a beneficiary of Title IX. And with men being able to infiltrate women's sports and pretend to be girls, pretend to be women and compete against women, obviously the playing field is not even close to being level. I'm not a girl who thinks that women can do everything men can do. We can't, and we don't want that smoke anyway.
Yeah.
But women not having I can't imagine if when I was competing in gymnastics, if a man was able to tumble and vault against me, I would have been competing for second out of the gate. Like there would not even have been a close race. So my nonprofit that I have with my partner, I'm never going to let up. I'm never going to take my foot off the gas.
All right, man, that's enough. We're gonna get them the hell up out of here, chat. Everyone hit the like button on your way in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. We're gonna get into some of the news and then we'll swing back around to the miscellaneous shit, man. We're gonna hear about we're gonna hear about the Supreme Court rulings that came down today. We'll watch a few clips and get caught up. I believe birthright citizenship will be announced around 10 a.m. in the morning. I believe a lot of people I went been jumping on a few panels today, and a lot of the conservatives are pretty adamant that this is going to be overturned. A lot of the conservatives are saying it's done deal, it's toast. They went and read the oral argument, so they think that birthright citizenship as of tomorrow will be over. I want to know what y'all think in the chat. Will birthright citizenship end tomorrow? Yes or no?
Down two key decisions on presidential power and the firing of people from government agencies. Justice has ruled that President Trump does not have the...
I didn't say nothing about girls and women's sports, men and women's sports. I don't think men should play with girls. I think they should have their own league.
Constitutional authority to fire Lisa Cook, a governor from the Federal Reserve Board.
But the court backed the president's power to terminate Rebecca Slaughter, a Democratic appointee to the Federal Trade Commission. This ruling grants more presidential power over federal agencies that are considered independent. It overturns 90 years of precedent. CNN Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed is right outside the Supreme Court. So, Paula, walk us through the significance of these decisions today.
Pamela, these are such incredibly significant decisions. In many ways,
See, what y'all don't realize is I'm a biblically literal prophetic independent, but I am from the South. I'm a black man from the South. I've only lived in the South, between a few states in the South. I've never lived anywhere outside of the South. So a lot of people consider to say that I'm conservative or I lean more conservative. I don't know. I'm just letting y'all know that I look at every situation and I judge it based on what I think about it. I'm not going blindly following any party. I don't give a fuck about the Democrats. I don't give a fuck about the Republicans. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I am a black man from the South.
these will be some of the defining opinions of the Roberts Court because they get to this question that has been hanging over the second Trump term, which is, are there any limits to his...
Todd, I'm not gonna lie. Somebody must have cracked your girl, bro. You in here too much just dry hating, Todd. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna need you to let my nuts go, Todd, and call your girl over there and do something, bro. Cause you're just hugging them, bro. Like I have no room anymore, Todd. Like let my nuts go, dude. Damn.
His ability to fire federal officials, and here they give us some insight.
Todd's one of those people that's mad that he can't do what I do. That's what it is. Todd's wondering, like, why does people come in here and watch Plug? The same reason you've been coming in here for 2 fucking years, Todd, watching me. You just can't do what I do. You can't move how I move. You can't operate the chat how I operate the chat. You're not a smooth operator. You're best suited to sit in the comments and throw rocks, Todd. That's why your phone number's blocked and all of that shit. You don't need to call in. You don't need to do nothing. But sit in the comments and fucking throw rocks.
While President Trump and his lawyers believe in something called a unitary executive theory and that the executives should be able to fire anyone they want, any way they want, here the justices put a few limits on that. In the one case, they ruled, and it's a really interesting group that was in this majority opinion. It's Chief Justice John Roberts, Justice Kavanaugh, and the 3 liberals all ruled that he cannot fire an official in the Federal Reserve without going through a process, giving that individual an opportunity to respond, that there are some limits on his power when it comes to firing officials at that agency. Now, that is one that has, of course, always been recognized as being independent of the White House. But in a separate case, when it comes to an employee at the federal...
Then Todd gonna say, I've dined with presidents. They still don't fuck with you, Todd. That's the thing. You've dined with presidents and they still don't fuck with you. Nobody still knows who the fuck you are. You dine with presidents and nobody knows you. And the presidents will not pick up your phone call. You can't call not one of them.
Trade Commission, that he does have the power to fire that individual because that is within the executive branch. And again, this is a significant decision because it's sort of drawing out the contours of the extent of his power to try to reshape the federal government through these mass firings. Now, President Trump wasn't clear how he was going to react to these decisions, and it's been a pretty mixed day for him overall at the court, but he described this as, quote, a big win.
I want to bring in our chief Supreme Court analyst, Joan Biskupic, right now. Joan, like Paula, Paula, you were inside the court when these decisions came down. Give us a little sense of how that felt.
Sure, Wolf, it's good to see you. The most important thing the justices did today was in the case involving Rebecca Slaughter of the Federal Trade Commission. Chief Justice John Roberts and the conservative majority used that decision to roll back nearly a century of legal policy about the president's power to remove the heads of regulatory agencies. Now, in some ways, this is going to sound kind of dry and arcane, but regulatory agencies are so important for how Americans live their lives. They cover rules.
See, this the thing, Todd. This is the thing. You say you ate dinner with the president and you can't call them. You ain't got no fucking pull. I have a community. I have a community of a few very important people in my community. A few people who's getting a lot of money in my community. I can call a few motherfuckers, Todd. It's verifiable. Nobody fucking knows you, man. You can't call the president no more. They're not gonna give you dinner. You paid a few $1,000s to have a fucking plate somewhere, and now you're parading around YouTube acting like you got it like that. It's cool, Todd. I'm broke. Trust me, I'm not rich. I'm broke. I'm just here fostering a nice environment for my community. All right, Todd, it's nothing to be jealous of, Todd. It's not that serious.
Rules for, medical, health, nuclear power. In this case, it's the Federal Trade Commission that was at issue. And we're talking about, safeguarding consumer practices, antitrust issues. So that gives you a sense of all that's at stake. But this court, for many, many years, has really not appreciated the congressional power to set these up and set up independent heads that the president can only remove for what's called for cause. That would be if somebody was actually found guilty of some sort of malfeasance or ineffectiveness in office. And that's what happened to Rebecca Slaughter. She was an appointee who had many more years left on her term, but President Trump, when he came into office, said,
so yeah, President Trump has the ability to hire and fire anybody he wants throughout the FTC and the executive branch. He has complete authority. They said that this ruling will make him the most powerful president in generations. The most powerful president in generations. He has the ability to hire and fire anyone in the executive branch and in the FTC.
He wanted to remove her. He wanted the power to do that. And the Supreme Court has used that case to say, yes, President Trump can remove.
All right, Chad, we got to do this shit for Todd. Let's show Todd. Chad, if you respect me and you're in this chat right now, put the number 4. If you have respect for Plug and you're in here right now, put the number 4. Let's show Todd how this shit goes over here. Let's show Todd how this shit goes over here, man. Todd, we got home court advantage, my boy. I don't know what you talking about, man.
Move Rebecca Slaughter, even though her term's not up, a Democratic appointee, and he can do that at the multitude of other independent agencies that at one point, as I said, Congress had set up to be independent, to not be under the pressure of the president. That was a 6-3 decision, and after the chief, who has had a special project here in trying to give the president much more robust power to not just hire people, but to fire. Justice Sotomayor then read her dissent from the bench, and she said, this can go in one of two directions. This can give, it can give the president more power, and maybe he would be more accountable, or it could lead to chaos. And she looked up at the spectators and she said something.
Oh, now Todd's threatening me with violence, chat. Y'all see it? Todd's chimping out, y'all. Todd's chimping out. Numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie. Now Todd said the Smith & Wesson levels the playing field. Like they stopped making guns when they made that rusty ass 9 that he got over there. That dusty ass 9 he got over there. That shit been collecting dust for like the last 6-7 years, Todd. You need to pull it out and do some damn maintenance. Oil that motherfucker up or something, man. Don't chimp out in here and threaten me.
Something to the effect, I can guess it which way it will go. Maybe you can too. So, Wolf, a dramatic case today. It doesn't apply to the Federal Reserve, as we saw with the Lisa Cook one, but it applies to a multitude of other agencies who perform a lot of safeguard functions across the country. Wolf.
All right, Joan Piskupic, thank you very, very much, Paul.
I want to go over to Paula Reed now because there was another big ruling today where justices rejected a Republican challenge to a Mississippi law that allows the counting of some mail-in ballots days after Election Day. So it's certainly a blow to President Trump and his efforts, Paula, to reduce mail-in voting ahead of the midterm elections.
So the Supreme Court did rule in favor of the states. I'm glad that they ruled in favor of states' rights. Now, how I feel about the mail-in ballots being counted weeks after the election, I'm not with it. But I am for states' rights in this situation. I'm totally glad that they ruled in favor of states' rights. So Election Day is Election Day, and they cannot interpret anything more. They said Congress can put it into the SAVE Act to make all of the votes be counted in a timely manner. But outside of Congress, the Supreme Court said that they cannot add any language. So it will be left up to the states. Election Day is Election Day, but the ballots can be counted later or come in late if the state allows so, if the state allows it.
That's exactly right. And Pamela, I really do think this is one of the biggest cases of the term. And it's notable that it came out against the Trump administration because they've been arguing that if the law says that the election has to be held the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, ballots cannot be counted if they come in after that. And this was sort of a test case. If they were able to succeed here and limit those ballots from being counted, it was expected that they could potentially go on to challenge other forms of voting, not exactly on Election Day, in-person voting, those kinds of things. So it's notable here that they lost, and the state of Mississippi, which does allow the counting of mail-in ballots if they arrive after Election Day, as long as they are postmarked by Election Day, that state won, because this is something that is also done in roughly a dozen other states. So this is a really significant case because we were watching this closely to see if the Trump administration prevailed in this case, where else could they try to go to limit those voting opportunities? So this is a significant loss for the Trump Justice Department.
There was also something else that happened at the
you said the SAVE Act will fix that. As of right now, it's not in the SAVE Act. As of right now, the language that they argued over this mail-in ballot decision, that language is not inside of the SAVE Act as of now. So they will have to go back and add that to the SAVE Act, or it just won't be there.
High Court this morning, the Supreme Court declining to hear President Trump's appeal in the E. Jean Carroll sexual abuse case. So what does this mean for the president?
Well, this means that...
Oh, yeah. So the Supreme Court said that they are not going to hear the $5 million E. Jean Carroll case. So what that means is that Trump has to pay that $5 million. The Supreme Court will not hear it. I believe they're still making the decision on the $80 million case. I believe the $80 million case, it's still going through the appeals process. But the $5 million case, the Supreme Court had delayed it about 15 or 16 times, but they ruled that they will not hear it. They decided to not hear it. So Trump has to pay that $5 million as of now.
That the one of two E. Jean Carroll cases is over, right? There were two verdicts people will remember for defamation, and one of the cases involved alleged sexual assault. The verdict that came out for $5 million has now been upheld. It's over. Donald Trump has to pay E. Jean Carroll $5 million because the Supreme Court declined to take the case. They had actually postponed their decision whether they would take it or not for something like 13 or 14 or 15 times. And then today they said, we are not taking the case. Not surprising, it doesn't have a real constitutional dimension. Therefore, the lower court ruling and the verdict, the $5 million verdict, stands. Donald Trump has to pay that to E. Jean Carroll. We still don't know what's going to happen with the other case, which resulted in the $80 million verdict. That's still going through the appeals process. But Donald Trump does now have to, like it or not, he has to cut a check to E. Jean Carroll. There's nothing he can do about it.
We have had quite a number of announcements in just the past hour. I want to turn first, though, to perhaps the biggest one, which is the court's decision on the Federal Reserve and Lisa Cook, certainly one of the biggest ones. So what we have here is SCOTUS rejecting President Donald Trump's attempt to immediately fire Lisa Cook, but in a separate ruling, actually expanding the president's power to fire officials, overturning here nearly a century-old precedent. So, look, Ankush, Lisa Cook aside here, is this in essence an expansion of the president's powers?
Oh, yes, this is an extraordinary expansion of the president's powers. And I would flip the order of how I think about these cases. I would start with the case involving the Federal Trade Commissioner, because that basically stands now for the proposition that a 90-year-old case that allowed for independent agencies to be created by Congress has been overruled. And the president now has wide-ranging power, it seems, to fire appointees of these independent, what were supposed to be independent bodies, at will. And so this was how the American regulatory state has been structured for many, many years. Republicans and conservatives have wanted to overturn that structure for decades. So this is a major, major victory for the Republican Party, their policy agenda, their anti-regulatory agenda, and conservative legal activists. The Lisa Cook case represents what I would describe as an exception to that extraordinarily broad power that they've now given Trump. But it's a narrow exception. It appears to apply just to the Federal Reserve. The Supreme Court conservatives claim that this distinction is based on the history of the Constitution. I don't find that credible. I think this was largely driven by policy considerations and the extreme chaos that a ruling that permitted President Trump to fire Federal Reserve members would have created. I think it's more a practical ruling than a legal philosophical ruling, which is a problem, but I think it helps to explain the distinction and the outcomes.
Yeah, and on Lisa Cook, I mean, the Supreme Court said they're not letting the president proceed with removing her from the Federal Reserve, but they did say that the case might go back to a lower court for due process. So does that mean this could be set to continue? It's not yet a done deal.
It could be set to continue unless the Trump administration backs off of this. And quite a bit has changed in terms of the president's interest in the Federal Reserve since he was able to appoint Kevin Warsh as the new chair. But you're correct. The way that the decision comes out, it says basically that there's some position in between what the government and Lisa Cook had argued that they say, that the court concludes and says, well, there has to be some sort of notice and hearing provided if the president wants to proceed to fire a Federal Reserve member like this. It can't just be nothing. So whether and to what extent it goes back and then moves forward for more proceedings really depends on whether the Trump administration insists on continuing with this effort, or maybe they just back off because they have gotten a major, major victory in the FTC case.
Yeah. Let's turn to the announcement on mail-in voting. That decision, something of a major blow to President Trump, who we know has been dogged in his targeting of mail-in voting. What did you make of that ruling? And just give us the sort of broader context of, how we've got here.
Yeah, I agree with you that it was a bit of a surprise. And it is a bit of a repudiation to Trump's effort to really clamp down on mail-in voting. But I do think it makes sense to think of this decision as it comes against the broader backdrop of the Supreme Court's rulings in the areas of voting rights and redistricting. Because within this same term, we have seen the conservatives, the Republican appointees on the Supreme Court, dramatically water down protections against discrimination in our voting rights areas and in redistricting areas. And mail-in balloting, actually, Trump is a bit of an outlier. The Republican Party as an institution is either agnostic or in favor of mail-in voting, particularly given the composition of their voters and the aging nature of their voters. So this is maybe a repudiation of Trump, but I think this is probably where the Republican Party wanted the case to come out.
All right, chat. I'm pulling up the camera right now. Hold on. Let me get us to the next segment. Everyone hit the like button for me right now.
Press Now. I'm Ryan Nobles in Washington, where it has been a historic day after the Supreme Court issued several blockbuster decisions, including a major victory for President Trump's efforts to expand his executive authority, but also delivering a setback to his party's efforts to overhaul how votes are counted heading into the midterms. Starting first with the big win for the administration. While the court rejected the president's attempts to fire Federal Reserve Board.
All right, chat. I'm trying to find the clip where the judge spoke out after Trump won on being able to hire and fire anybody out of the FTC and the executive branch. A judge said that it could go one of two ways. Either it could something about responsibility and he could be great, or it could be a total abuse of power. And she was like, I think we know how this is gonna go. So I'm trying to find that clip of where the or somebody speaking about what the Supreme Court judge said.
Member Lisa Cook, it vastly expanded his power to oust leaders at other independent government.
Oh, chat, I need everyone to hit the like button. We're also 20 subscribers away from the next sub goal, but I need everyone to hit the like button for me. We're like 4 likes away from the next like goal.
Agencies ruling he could fire Rebecca Slaughter, an appointee to the Federal Trade Commission. Chief Justice John Roberts writing the majority opinion in the case, saying subordinates who exercise the president's power are subject to removal by him. Then and only then can they remain accountable to the president and the president to the people. But in a scathing and lengthy dissent, Justice Sotomayor, writing the court's ruling, quote, promises to unleash only chaos.
Yeah, that's
President
her.
Trump was asked.
That's what I'm talking about. It was Judge Sotomayor said that it'll unleash chaos. She actually said it could go one or two ways, but she alluded to it being complete chaos with Trump having this authority.
Asked about the ruling and if he planned to fire other agency officials as a result.
The Supreme Court just affirmed your right to fire the heads of independent agencies. Should we expect more firings as a result of this ruling?
I don't think so. It gives me the right, and not me, it gives a president the right to do what the president should have the right to do. And it's very interesting. It's a big ruling. It's been going on for almost 100 years. They've been working on this, and that it comes down at my term is a very great honor. But it bestows additional powers, or maybe the same power, on the president. The president has the right to do this, and that has to do with a lot of agencies all throughout the system.
And Rebecca Slaughter herself responding to today's decision and warning of its long-term implications.
And I think why it really matters is exactly as President Trump said, it is unprecedented, and it hands a massive amount of power away from Congress and to the president to shape economic decision-making in a way that will reward the rich and powerful and at the expense of ordinary Americans.
The Supreme Court also issuing a major decision on mail-in voting, rebuffing the president and ruling against the Republican National Committee that states can count mail-in ballots received after Election Day, and rejecting a Republican challenge to Mississippi's law for late-arriving ballots. Justice Amy Coney Barrett writing the majority opinion in Watson v. RNC that, quote, while federal law dictates when ballots must be cast, state law dictates when they must be received. Moments ago in the Oval Office, President Trump reacting to that ruling as well, calling it surprising and, quote, very detrimental to honest elections. This despite there being no evidence that mail-in voting leads to widespread fraud. He also once again touted the need for his elections overhaul bill, the Save America Act.
All right, chat. We kind of got the gist of what's
on the
going
job.
there. All right, this is Stephen A. Smith. He's talking about the Democratic Party and how Zoran Mamdani is a problem for the Democratic Party. Do y'all think Zoran Mamdani is a problem for the Democrats over there, man? I believe that some of the more moderate Democrats have branched off and they're starting their own thing.
That he endorsed, won their primaries, Brad Landa, Claire Valdez, Daria Eliza Villa Chevalier. These are individuals that he supported, pushed forth, and they knocked off longtime Democratic individuals entrenched in our government in New York City. And a lot of people are looking at this, and you've got folks on the right saying, is this the new Democratic Party, a Democratic Socialist Party? And Mamdani isn't backing up from that one bit. Me as a native New Yorker, it's relevant because what happens in New York sometimes give an indication rather of what could happen on a national scale. New York City, California, places like that, deep blue states.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Democrats getting the old folks out the way, man. I'm sorry. Boomers, man, baby boomers, man. The Democrats getting y'all ass out the way, man. It's all weird, man. The Democrats getting y'all ass out the way.
You see what's transpiring with Mamdani, and you're assuming that that's not going to be something that takes shape with the American people in the general election. My attitude is the way he's going right now and the way he's building momentum, he's somebody that has to be taken seriously. He's turning 35 years of age in just a few days, and he's speaking a language that most American citizens are fearful of right now. And that's affordability. There's an affordability crisis. There's a crisis of inequality. We're looking at numbers that certain websites and things of that nature have shown where you're looking at the top 1% owning 32% of the nation's wealth. The bottom.
So, Chad, do y'all have a problem with that? Do you have a problem with the top 1% owning 32% of the nation's wealth? Do you have a problem with that? Yes or no? Does that matter to you?
50% owns about 2.4% of the nation's wealth. There's a huge wealth gap that's existing in the United States of America. And let's keep it a buck. The president of the United States certainly isn't helping that. While he's sitting up there and he's getting rich and his cronies are getting richer and his family is getting richer, Americans are still talking about affordability and inequality being issues in this country. And when you look at Mamdani, that's his signature. I watched him this weekend talking on ABC's This Week with Jonathan Call, and he kept talking about the working class, affordability.
Yeah, I see someone said you're in the bottom 1%. The bottom 1% is well under $10,000 annually. Yeah, I'm damn sure not in the bottom 1%. We not rich, but we damn sure are not in the bottom 1%. I don't know who the fuck you thought I was.
For the working class. And just think about some of the issues that he's touching on, making housing more affordable, lowering everyday costs, raising taxes on the wealthy, redefining public safety, expanding social services. These are some of the things that he points to. Because in the end, what he's talking about is affordability. New York City's rent guidelines. Did you hear about that story? You hear about that story? One of the biggest decisions, New York City's Rent Guidelines Board chose to freeze rents on about 1 million rent-stabilized apartments. That was something he campaigned on, and he ended up pulling it off. And his administration has also released an ambitious housing plan calling for 400,000 affordable housing units through a combination of new construction and preservation over the coming decade. That's something he's pursuing. We're looking at inflation right now compared to wage growth. Inflation rate at 4.2%, wage growth at 3.4%. That means inflation is outpacing wage growth. That's never good for the country. And this is a man that's gaining traction because he's talking about it. He's talking about it. And if you listen to him, you better pay attention. But I got news for you. I'm not talking to the Republicans and the GOP. I'm talking to the Democratic Party. Zoran Mamdani is coming. He's gaining traction. I am not a socialist, nor do I aspire to see socialism in the United States of America. I don't know anywhere in the world where true socialism has worked. I don't see it. I don't know where communism has worked. I don't see it. And I know the president of the United States is calling the mayor of New York a communist. No, he calls himself a socialist. That's what I'm going to go with. He's a democratic socialist. He swears it's working in New York City. I'm not so sure. But listen to Mamdani with this quote right here. Let me read this to you. Quote, I think a democratic socialist can get elected anywhere across this country for any position. I think we're seeing a hunger that is not just felt by New Yorkers, but frankly, by Americans from coast to coast for a new kind of politics, one that puts working people at the heart of it. This is what Mamdani is saying. He's talking about working people because he knows that's the language everybody wants to hear. He knows they're not interested in hearing anything else.
I'm going to be honest with you. If the Dems win the midterms and they get the bringing out all of these committees and trying to impeach people and get to doing all of these probes and shit, and they spill the beans about all this fraud and corruption and insider trading and government contracts and who took what money, oh, it's going to be a lot of people running to those Democratic Socialists. Watch what I tell you. It's going to be a lot of you motherfuckers running to the Democratic Socialists.
And if you're the Democratic Party, you got to pay attention. You know why? Because your leadership in the House and in the Senate could be in a world of trouble.
Now, look, here goes another fanboy Tom saying, you can't even speak English. Why are you here, Tom? You've been here for like the last 30 minutes listening to me run my mouth. Why are you here, Tom? I'm just saying, Tom. You're so educated. I'm such a bad guy. Don't you have better shit to do right now, Tom? You got some coffee to make. Your baby daddy might want a sandwich, Tom. Your baby daddy's probably about to get out of the shower. He might want a sandwich.
Now, I think less for Schumer in the Senate than it is for Hakeem Jeffries in the House, but nevertheless, it could happen. Remember, Hakeem Jeffries endorsed candidates. His candidates lost. Zohran Mamdani's candidates won. So, by the way, because of that, what does that mean? That means he's gaining traction and he's gaining power. And when we look at Mamdani and what makes him successful, let's understand this as a politician. What is he doing? He can raise money. He can organize young and progressive voters. His endorsements carry real weight now, as we've seen. He can beat the establishment, or he can beat establishment Democrats in deep blue districts. These are the kind of things that he's established already. This is 7 months on the job. And when you consider the fact that his candidates that he's endorsing are the ones winning, and Hakeem Jeffries and the candidates that he's endorsing are not winning, this is the man that was the successor of Nancy Pelosi. When Nancy Pelosi...
I'm telling y'all, a lot of y'all say King is the king of New York. That shit's over with. Hakeem Jeffries is not a good enough orator. I told you guys, just watching Hakeem Jeffries, he's kind of hard to watch. He has the heavy accent, he stutters and shit. You know, he's just not a good orator. Outside of his policies, man, he just doesn't carry the stage well, man. I'm sorry. It's over with.
He endorsed you usually won. If that's not the case with Hakeem Jeffries, how do you think that's going to bode well for him in the House? Just on this show, my show, Straight Shooter, with Stephen A., when we had Senator Alyssa Slotkin on the show the other day, she talked about new leadership being needed within the Democratic Party. Knowing that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are there already. Now, Chuck Schumer's been around a long time, and few raise money better and more effectively. But who knows what's going to happen if AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the representative out of the Bronx, who knows what's going to happen if her and Zohran Mamdani really become a partnership and a pair? And he's out there campaigning on her behalf. What is that going to translate into? These are the kind of things that we got to concern ourselves with now. If you're a Democrat in the United States, particularly in New York City, Zohran Mamdani is coming. And if he's coming, what does that mean for the rest of America? Because I got questions. Where has socialism ever succeeded? If so, tell us where that is. How's it going to succeed in New York? How are you going to sell that in a capitalistic society? You might do it in New York with young voters. What about the people in the suburbs? What about them? You really think?
I'm just going to be honest with you. With Mamdani inheriting a $12 billion budget deficit, it don't sound like New York was succeeding to begin with. I'm just going to say it. Under Cuomo, under Eric Adams, Snigger Mamdani inherited a $12 billion budget deficit. So If you're $12 billion in the hole, it doesn't look like New York was succeeding to begin with. I'm just going to say it.
I think this kind of message is going to resonate with them? Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about here is this. If it resonates within the Democratic Party, but it doesn't have a snowball's chance of resonating in a general election, then you're basically handing the presidency.
All right, everybody. Tell Tom's good night. He doesn't know how to play well with others. We're just going to get him up out of here for the remainder of the show. We're going to give him a melatonin, send him straight to bed. His mom will be here around midnight to pick him up. Everybody tell Tom good night. And no, Tom, I've not been to prison.
To the GOP in 2028 as well. That's what you're doing. Because the party, the Democratic Party, will have been perceived as being fragmented. That's what I'm seeing when I see Zohran Mamdani. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what I see when I see his ascension taking fold before our very eyes. Is he right? Affordability being a real problem? You're damn right he is. Is he right that the working class has been ignored? You're damn right he is. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last year, the top 1%, when you look at some of these people and what they bring to the table, about the top 10 richest people in the country, you know, they've generated nearly or more than $500 billion for themselves.
Yeah, they have. I also seen the campaign spending. It's looking like from the mega donors, it's looking like George Soros put like $130 million into the Democrats. And between Adelson, Elon Musk, and a few of these other people, they've put like $800 million into the conservative movement for these midterms. So it's like $800 million to like $130 million.
Whereas over the last several decades, people have been lucky if they got a $9,000 raise, spanning decades. That is what Mamdani is speaking to. That is what he's focusing on. That is what is resonating. But in the end, what it's going to do is serve to divide the Democratic Party. It's not going to have any effect on the Republicans as it pertains to what their plan of action is, because they're going to ask you to choose between capitalism and socialism.
Here we go.
Before all of that, it's up to the Democratic Party to find a way to make a decision. Who's going to lead the party going into the future? If it's Zohran, it's socialism. Unless somebody that resonates as effectively is able to step up to the plate and ensure that the Democratic Party is not going to be at the mercy of the mayor of New York City. That's what this comes down to. Did you see what else Mamdani said? Said, quote,
"It's over with, man. That's Mamdani shit. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. Unless Gavin Newsom gets some motion, Wes Moore's too quiet, can't see Pritzker doing a motherfucking thing, Talrico just don't got it yet. It's over with, man. Nobody's trying to hear what Buttigieg got going on, man. It's over with. That's Mamdani shit. Unless Gavin Newsom gets it together, that's Mamdani shit."
We don't have to ask ourselves what life looks like if a socialist wins. I won last November. And over the course of these last 6 months, what we've delivered for working people are the very things we were told were impossible. And we've done all of these things while also delivering the lowest recorded crime in our city's history. That's what it looks like to have democratic socialism. And what you're seeing is that New Yorkers experienced this for 6 months and made the decision that they wanted to see more of it on the national stage as well. I'm not buying that yet, but it sounds damn good.
You said is Mamdani giving up his money. What do you mean is he giving up his money?
I want to know.
I know you're not comparing it to Trump giving up his salary. I know you're not going to compare Mamdani giving up his money to Trump giving up his salary. I know that's not what you're trying to do right here.
That when you freeze rent, what else have you frozen? Have you frozen the price of equipment? Have you frozen maintenance? Have you frozen those things? Because those things still need to happen, and it costs. Nothing's free. And if you're talking about taxing, and more taxing, excuse me, you're going to run businesses out of New York City. And then ultimately, where's the money going to come from? To develop a middle class, let alone pay them.
Bruh, with $3,000 rents, bruh, there is no fucking middle class. Like, it's over with. The average American salary is like, what, 50,000, 62K? You talking about apartments in New York, $3,000, bruh. Like, chill out, bro. Chill out.
That's how I'm looking at things. Obviously, he's looking at it a bit differently, which is why I'm doing this segment, because I can't wait to talk to him. I've been anxious to have him on the show to ask him some of these questions. I'm waiting to see whether or not he's going to accept it and what he's going to have to say once he ultimately does. Because in the end, the money has to come from somewhere. Nothing is free, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, positively, nothing is free. If you're not paying, it's because somebody else is. And if you want to say it's the wealthy that's going to be paid, well, if they're taking their asses out of New York City, who's going to be here to pay it? Eventually, it'll trickle down to that middle class that was supposed to be being spared. And where's that going to leave the city? These are just questions. I'm not pretending to have the answers. I don't know. But they're legitimate questions that I need answers to, coming from a proud, renowned democratic socialist like Zohran Mamdani. Inquiring minds want to know. Can't wait to talk to him. I'm going to stay on this subject for a while because it's not going anywhere. And most importantly, it's going to have a collateral effect on the rest of the Democratic Party and ultimately a general election if things keep going the way that they are going. I will say this on behalf of Mamdani. There is nobody in the Democratic Party like him. That smile, that intellect.
I'm going to just say it. New York was over with before Mamdani, man. Eric Adams had him in a $12 billion budget deficit, man. Rats and roaches was everywhere already, man. Let's just be honest with you, bro. Let's be honest with this shit, man. The dream, the allure of New York City has been gone, bro. That shit's been gone. Once Atlanta got popping, it was fucking over with for New York. Cut it out. Cut it out. Once Atlanta and Houston and shit got popping, nobody was talking about that New York shit no more, bro. That shit was over with.
That ability to articulate himself and speak plainly to the voter out there about affordability being an issue and it being a crisis in this country, and how billions upon billions of dollars don't need to be spent.
You talking about for blacks, man. What do you think? It's a lot of whites in New York, man. It's Ox and Haitians and Jamaicans and Salvadorians and shit. You act like New York's a white city. You talking about?
On wars and carnage. And instead, they need to be spent on citizens right here in New York City whose needs are more direct and hit home for folks in a very, very personal way than stuff going on overseas. It's a lot to talk about. We're here for it. I know somebody else who's here for it. It's somebody that I've been waiting to have back on as a guest the second I knew what the results of these primaries in New York City were going to be, because this man knows New York City better than most. He knows what the hell he's talking about. He's my next guest. He's the founder of Progressive Action, a New York City-based labor and community movement that speaks out on various issues affecting New York City. Please welcome back to Straight Shooter with yours truly, the one and only Tremel Thompson. What's up, my man? How you doing? How's everything?
Everything is great, man. Thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it.
Oh, please, anytime. So you saw what Mayor Zohran Mamdani pulled off last week. He endorsed a few candidates.
All right, we finna get Stephen A. and his show the fuck up out of here, man. Shout out to Stephen A. I think Chink and
Just
Anna
a part
was
of what
talking.
you said.
Chink and Anna is talking about AOC, and they're saying AOC is standing with the centrists. I didn't know AOC was standing with the centrists. What the hell is going on? I thought AOC was damn far left as it got.
Your point. Do you still feel, though, if Democrats went back to the House, that Hakeem Jeffries is the right person to lead?
You know, I've engaged in...
Oh, Chad, hit the like button for me on your way in. Be sure to double tap that screen. We're also 20 subscribers away from the next sub goal. Be sure to subscribe to the channel.
In many conversations with Leader Jeffries. And for me, and we have a broad caucus, right? For me, I have made very clear that one of my priorities in determining and in a leader determination is securing public housing financing for New York City. And Leader Jeffries has made his
I'm gonna say a lot of these people, they need to go to some damn Toastmakers events, man. A lot of these people, they're not ready to be up here public speaking. They're not ready to talk about you. AOC needs a few Toastmaker events, man. I don't know if DC holds them on Tuesdays or Friday. I don't know, man. Somebody get AOC over there with Toastmakers, man.
His prioritization for the residents of public housing very clear. And for that reason, I will be supporting Hakeem Jeffries for leader.
Okay, I love this clip because we're gonna show you how politics actually works. We're gonna show you what she really meant and what the deal actually is, because that's not why she's doing what she's doing at all. She's not only supporting Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker if they get the House back, but she also didn't endorse any of the Democrats running against incumbents in New York, even though they were progressive. We'll explain why she didn't do that as well. And finally,
Ms. Bones, you said she's an amazing speaker. No, she's not. No, she's not. She has a lot of room to get better. She's an all right speaker. She's better than Jeffries, but she's not an amazing speaker. Cut it out. Cut it the fuck out.
Finally, I want you to be aware that Kamala Harris is apparently such a good ally of AOC that she's gifted her word salads. And it's very mighty Christian of, as they used to say in the old days of Kamala Harris. And apparently AOC eats them at every time she's on camera. Oh, a word salad, great.
Well, I mean, when you're being dishonest, it's kind of hard to say things confidently and forcefully, which is why the world, in my opinion, that's why we saw the word salad in that clip. But nonetheless, let me give you the details because AOC has drawn quite a bit of backlash from members of her own base, people who have supported her throughout her political career. Now, her comments come on the heels of a decisive progressive victory in New York. This happened last week, of course. I covered it in depth. And this is when the incumbent Democrats were facing some real primary challengers to their left, Claire Valdez, Daria Lisa Avila Chevalier, and also Brad Lander. All three of them won. All three of them are to the left of the incumbents that they beat. Now, successfully, they primaried long-term incumbents and Democratic establishment favorites. And all of these aforementioned candidates, the Iron Dome to protect them, which we pay for. And so, understandably, progressive voters are against providing even defensive military aid to Israel. And as AOC is floated as a potential frontrunner in the 2028 presidential race, her perceived caution on the topic of Israel could hurt her among Democratic voters overall, certainly considering where Democratic voters are on the issue of Israel. So as the nation points out, Palestine is the defining issue of our time, particularly within the Democratic Party. It is the principal dividing line between Democratic primary candidates in this year's midterms, and there is no reason to expect its importance to wane in 2028. And I pretty much agree with that assessment, especially when you look at the polling. So let's take a look at this Gallup poll. You're looking at a chart showing you the results of the Gallup poll. And
yeah, nah, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. AOC is not a terrible speaker. She goes at it on the House floor. I'll give y'all that, but let's be honest here, bro. She has room for improvement. To say she's just damn great means she has little room for improvement. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
It shows that 65% of registered Democratic voters say they actually sympathize more with Palestinians as opposed to Israelis or Israel. And as evidenced by the races that we just spoke about in New York last week, Daria Lisa Chevalier ousted Adriano Espaillat, who was a 5-term representative who has consistently taken large sums of money from AIPAC, the Israel lobby, and traveled to Israel with Hakeem Jeffries and Rishi Torres. Hakeem Jeffries, or more importantly, providing a full-throated endorsement of Hakeem Jeffries as the next Speaker of the House is a little bit of a problem considering his role in aiding and abetting Israel's crimes against humanity. And he has taken a lot of money from the Israel lobby, which is why it's not surprising that he took this trip to Israel with Richie Torres.
Yeah, so look, Hakeem Jeffries is a giant.
Oh my God, they got Hakeem out there kissing the wall, man. Come on, Chad. Hakeem kissed the wall too, bro.
Sellout, and I don't think anyone should back him, but almost all the Democrats in Congress do. So that one I'm less bothered by than her non-endorsements. I'm gonna come back to the non-endorsements in a second, but I do wanna explain the trick here. When we launched Shop TYT, my head was spinning with what ifs. What if the site looks janky? What if no? Wait, let's break that down. So why was Hakeem Jeffries against affordable housing and you had to make a deal with him to get him to be in favor of affordable housing?
I wouldn't be surprised.
So can we flesh that out a little bit?
It'd be nice, yeah.
Can we get a reporter ask, why was Hakeem Jeffries opposed to affordable housing in New York? No, guys, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, Hakeem Jeffries, of course, would be opposed to that because he's opposed to anything that would help the average voter because he's obsessed with his donors. He's got $5.5 million from AIPAC and the Israeli lobby. He serves those guys loyally. But overall, no, these politicians get together. I know this. I know what happens behind the scenes. And they go, oh, AOC says to Hakeem, I need an excuse. I'm not saying that I know that that happened. I'm saying in general, this is how it works, okay? It says I need an excuse because I'm gonna betray my own side, right? So what can we come up with? Oh, we'll say we did it because of housing in New York, because what are the people in New York most upset about? Housing prices, right?
Yep.
So we'll pretend to help them. By the way, what does Hakeem have to do with that? And has it passed? No, nothing's passed. Has he tried? Nothing's happened yet.
There was a housing bill that did pass Congress that Trump is refusing to sign because he's like, I'm not gonna sign this until you pass the Save America Act. But I just wanna be clear, it's shao. Like, it's supposed to increase the inventory of housing in America. I don't think it goes nearly far enough. It's better than nothing.
No, but I don't want you to get misled by that because that's bipartisan.
That's bipartisan, exactly.
Everybody's in favor of that. You don't need any votes on that. Even the Republicans are in favor of that.
They passed it already.
So it's like saying, well, Hakeem Jeffries voted with the Republicans on this tiny little housing bill, so that's why I had to betray the progressives in New York. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's not even trying to make sense. Okay, so now again, if Hakeem has done something that he wasn't going to do, but has now opened up amazing opportunities for housing in New York, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
That doesn't exist. Yeah.
So all right, so why does she actually not endorse them? Because of two reasons. Number one, she's become convinced that the establishment is her actual friends and her actual colleagues and who she actually serves. So that's why she's so afraid to go against anything the establishment wants. Because she knows this part is true. She knows that if she doesn't obey, they will get the New York Times and CNN to rip her apart. And right now, the New York Times and CNN and MSNBC love AOC.
Yeah.
They're getting, and here, this will be a form of a compliment, they're getting Obama vibes from her, right? But it's also, in my opinion, not a compliment. Why? Because they're getting, New York Times and mainstream media is getting the sense, oh, she doesn't mean it at all. She'll do exactly as she's ordered. But she has the appearance and the brand of being a progressive, etc. She's not a populist in any way, shape, or form, but a progressive, right? So that way, great, change on the outside, continuity on the inside. So she wanted to prove to her establishment colleagues that she could be relied on. Okay, that's why she betrayed those people and didn't vote for them, didn't endorse them. But there's a second reason why. She cares so much about her win record. What is the amount of endorsements, the percentage that she won of the endorsements? Who cares?
No one. I don't even know what her win record is. Who cares? Seriously.
No. Politico cares. Axios cares.
Who cares about Politico? Okay, she needs to understand there is a division in this country right now, and the division is between the elite, which includes legacy media and the very politicians she's trying to ingratiate herself with, and the rest of the American people. Okay, ordinary Americans aren't real. They're not worried about what Politico is publishing about AOC's win record. That's insane.
Anna, so again, this is where I have experience on the ground in DC. All the Democrats are obsessed with their win record on endorsements.
Yeah, that's what. Well,
okay,
that's why.
insane.
That's why their own base hates them.
Yeah, look here. I'll give you an example of how to, in my opinion, how to do it right. So when we started Just Democrats back in 2017, people told us, "Oh, hey, why are you endorsing all these people? I don't think they're likely to win." Like that stupid bartender in Queens. She's running against Joe Crowley, the number 4 guy, and he's going to be the next Speaker of the House. Why you're going to ruin your percentage? I was like, what percentage? We just started, and I don't give a damn. So we endorsed 78 candidates.
Nice.
Okay, only 4 of them won, so our percentage record was terrible.
Oh
okay?
no, you guys have such a terrible win record. Oh no.
Okay.
All the American people are thinking about it.
Yeah, and who were the 4? AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, and Rashida Tlaib. So now look, they didn't stay on the right track, especially AOC, but so that's a different issue. But did we get some of the most spectacular wins in American political history? Yes, we did. And how did we get there? By not giving a damn about our win-loss record, okay? So when you tell me, oh, I have to keep my win-loss percentage pristine, I go, well, then you're an egomaniac. Okay, so 2 more things that are super important and relevant to this, because I need you to know the full details so you don't mistakenly go in the wrong direction, okay? Shoykat Chakrabarti was my co-founder in Just Democrats and did way more than I did, infinitely more important to that organization. And in the middle, he called me and said, I'm gonna transfer to being campaign manager of AOC. I'm gonna put all of our chips in on her because I think she's the best candidate. And at the time, guys, listen to this. AOC was down 35 points. What Shoykat did was totally visionary and bold. And I said, look, brother, you're running it. You're the executive director. If you think that's the right decision, let's go for it, okay? And they did, and he became the campaign manager. Corbin, who was a communications director for Just Democrats, became AOC's communications director, and they pulled off a miracle.
All right, let's get Chink out of there. Let's get Chink out of there, man. My bad, chat. My bad. I left y'all hanging for a minute. But we finna get into the TPS ending. The Haitians are mad at the FBAs right now. The Haitians are really mad at the FBAs about TPS ending, and I just don't understand why they're mad at the FBAs.
Distancing. That's what y'all are.
I don't understand why the Haitians are mad at the FBAs for TPS ending. I'm just gonna be honest. After that, we'll get into I believe Professor Jang was on Pierce Morgan. We'll get into that after this.
Like, why are you telling me I have to do this because I'm black when it's been already pointed out that I'm Haitian? Why do I now have to submit to this idea of being black? That makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's what you don't get. A lot of people are...
Black Americans came here on a slave boat for slavery. And
we'll hear from foundational Black Americans and Haitians passionately.
None of it. Instead of learning the nation for everybody, you want it for your TPS is temporary. Remember all the bad y'all said about us? Now go home. Man, all of y'all are hypocrites. You see when the government mistreats you. You go blind when it mistreats somebody else. You don't want liberal.
So are the blacks hypocrites for sitting this one out with the TPS? I want to know y'all thoughts and opinions. He's saying the FBAs are hypocrites because they talk about social injustices, and now that TPS is ended for the Haitians and the Syrians, blacks are hypocrites for sitting this one out.
For everybody. You want it for yourself. The crazy part is a lot of y'all are talking about Haiti like it just magically ended up the way it is. Nobody ever mentions America's role in keeping Haiti the way it is now. Y'all never mentioned the occupation, the stolen money, the political interference, the destabilization, none of it. Instead of learning the nuance behind the situation, you let bigotry and ignorance control your thinking. But then you swear you care about justice. You swear you care about life, right? Y'all swear you're all about freedom. Unless it's Haitians, I guess. But go ahead, comment your gifts, your TikTok slang, your other stupid shit I'll be leaving in the comments. I'm just tired of all of it, man. I'm tired of the stuff that's going on now. I'm tired of y'all niggas.
Y'all don't even understand what y'all doing. Y'all hating on real niggas. You know what I'm saying? Y'all happy we getting deported, nigga. Y'all want us out the country. Y'all say it's y'all country. Then y'all turn around saying, oh, get out of our country, then y'all turn around saying, oh, you see the Haitians, they get in political positions and they only look out for Haitians. How the fuck we get in political position in this y'all country, nigga? What the fuck y'all talking about? You niggas is the niggas that everybody be talking about, nigga. Take my hat off for this shit. You niggas the niggas everybody be talking about, nigga. You niggas is the niggas, you know what I'm saying? Y'all the niggas, y'all don't put in no motherfucking, y'all don't put in enough work, nigga. That's y'all problem, nigga. Don't get mad that somebody can't put the work in and lapped you, nigga.
Talking crazy.
This to the FBAs. Don't be mad because we came in and we built shit and you was sitting on your mama, laying on your mama couch, nigga. Because you was on probation for a petty crime and you only made $400 for it, nigga, and you spent it all on weed, boy. Who the f*** they started the dread, nigga?
Crazy.
Pay respect, nigga.
So he's telling black Americans to pay respect to Haitians because they came over here and built this shit. That is wild to me, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. That shit is crazy, man. But shout out to whoever sent me that, man. But that shit is crazy. I can't take too much more of that, bro. I can't take too much more of that, man. That shit is crazy, bro. The hell is he talking about, man?
The two most sophisticated militaries in the world attacked Iran, and it's still there.
I still believe that eventually the United States will be forced to use boots on the ground.
I don't agree with that. I believe that Donald Trump moved on Iran, not just because Israel sold him a false bill of goods, but also because he was looking for a very short, quick political victory.
If Democrats were to take the House in November, Donald Trump would actually be under more pressure to use ground forces. Otherwise, he could face impeachment.
At the core of it, I see
both back on to review how they did, and more importantly, ask them what happens next. So joining me now are Andrew and
all right, let's get into it, bro.
Gigantic risk, which is
hit
what
the
it
like
would be.
button, chat.
I mean, doesn't all his behavior at the moment suggest that he just wants to get out of this?
I think the United States is still stuck in Iran right now, because if the United States were to withdraw from Iran, then Iran would control the Middle East. The GCC would have to pay ransom, a huge reparation to Iran. And so they can no longer recycle US dollars back into the US economy, which feeds the AI bubble. And you could see a complete economic collapse if that were the case. So the Americans are just stuck where they are right now.
Andrew, welcome back to Uncensored to you as well. Sporting a new haircut, if I may be so bold as to censor on that immediately. Looks good.
I appreciate it, Piers. Trying to look like you, man.
Look, it's just, and they'd all be too distracted to notice what was happening with the Strait of Hormuz. Well, the first bit happened to a degree, albeit the Ayatollah's been replaced by his even more radical son. But none of the rest of it happened at all. And in fact, far worse, I think, for Donald Trump and for Netanyahu, the Iranians quickly worked out that the control of the Strait of Hormuz could just hold the entire world over a barrel, quite literally, because it would control the flow of 20% of the world's energy. And then if they also fired off some missiles and rockets at their neighboring Gulf states and caused, economic mayhem there by doing that, then they really held a lot of the cards, to quote Donald Trump's favorite phrase in warfare. When you look at this, do you think it was just a case, not of Trump being told what to do, but that of him just buying into this playbook, which then just didn't materialize?
Yeah, I think there's a number of overlapping intelligence issues here. And at the core of it, I see it as an intelligence failure. First of all, the fact that the United States didn't have our own intelligence infrastructure to the point where we could see the holes in Israel's assessments and estimates, that's a major problem. It means that we went into Iran basically following Israel's guidance, following Israel's intelligence, following their targeting packages, instead of our own independent intelligence assessment. Whenever you're in a position like that, you're going in essentially blind, and you're going in kind of like the pit bull on the leash for somebody else.
Here
And
we
I think
go.
that's what we saw happen very shortly after the promises that Israel made didn't really pan out. Now, where we are today is stuck in the same situation where we still don't have an intelligence network. We still don't have independent intelligence telling us what we can assess and what we can estimate, what we can predict inside Iran. And that's why we're still stuck in this quagmire. We have an MOU that doesn't give us any of the outcomes that we strategically promised.
So I'm going to ask y'all, chat, do y'all think this war starts back up full blown? Yes or no? Do you think that this is the end of the Iran war or it starts back up completely?
The American people, and the MOU isn't working. We still have, there's no active cessation of attacks. They've just decreased, they've changed, but it's still happening.
Right, and Professor Zhang, you know, the big goal in the end, which was explained after weeks and weeks of getting nowhere with the others, Donald Trump said, right, this is all about stopping the Iranians having a nuclear weapon. And yet they still got all their enriched uranium. I mean, I think the only way that can ever be got by America or Israel is with ground forces. So I think on that alone, that's clear. But the Iranians have also started talking openly now about the need to build a nuclear weapon, to have one. That actually what this has taught them, if people are wedded to the annihilation of all of their regime, then they need a nuclear weapon to defend themselves. And perversely, it could end up creating a situation where the Iranians actually want to develop something that maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago, they like to saber rattle about, but weren't actually going to do.
Right. So before the war, the Iranians had a religious fatwa banning the making and use of nuclear weapons. So the Iranians were committed not to building a nuclear weapon. With enriched uranium, Ted Posto, who is an MIT professor, he says that it'll take them exactly 6 weeks to build a nuclear weapon. So if the Iranians had the will, they could build a nuclear weapon. So if they were attacked with a nuclear weapon, then they would respond with at least 10 nuclear weapons. That's how much they can make with their enriched uranium. So it's really a quagmire for the United States. Now, I would say that this reporting that Iran wants to build a nuclear weapon, it's actually false. There is a religious fatwa in place, and it has to be overruled by the new Ayatollah, and that's a very long process. And quite honestly, the Iranians don't really need a nuclear weapon at this stage.
Summer is almost upon us, and if you're not .com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. Long and unillustrious history of this regime, if they didn't use that to maximum leverage effect, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what we've seen is that Iran has managed to turn this conflict into the most significant blow against the United States that any country has been able to execute in many decades. Not only does the United States look like it's in the pocket of a much smaller, more kind of unpredictable country, Israel specifically, not only has this separated GCC allies from the United States, the UAE has dropped out of the oil consortium. Not only do we see that the closest Western allies in the world, in Europe, have distanced themselves from the United States. And that's not even counting how America looks at itself through the lens of politics and identity and global leadership. So just simply by surviving, Iran has shown that small can be powerful and that the United States can be overcome, possibly even defeated. Because if the Ayatollah stands, if the Iranian Republic continues to persist in Iran in its current form, if we reach the end of this war, what was it all for?
Yeah.
And it shows that they won. And if that doesn't inspire and encourage and maybe even provoke countries like North Korea, Cuba, continue to encourage countries like Russia, China, other adversaries competing for global dominance, I don't know what will.
Although it's interesting, Professor Zhang, to look at what's happened in Ukraine, for example, where everybody assumed the Russians would just run Ukraine over pretty quickly. I think Russia assumed it would do it very quickly. That hasn't happened. And we are many years into that war. And in fact, you could argue Ukraine now is not just putting up a good fight, but is giving Vladimir Putin quite a bloody nose. It's proving to be very costly in both Russian human life and on the economy there. It's an interesting thing to look at and say, well, you look at what's happened there, and it may fly slightly in the face of what Andrew just said, but maybe if you're China, you look at what's happened in Iran. I think there's an opportunity for you there, maybe with Taiwan, or maybe to strengthen ties with Iran, whatever it may be. And at the core of it all is a kind of battle for energy, right? I mean, energy is going to be
Oh my God. I just said all of that shit muted. I just said all of that shit muted, bruh. Wow. Anyways, I was saying though, we're gonna wrap this up. It's almost midnight. I did work a full shift today, so I'm a little tired. I am back live every single night though. We're not taking nights off. I had to do some shit, take care of some things, be a dad and do all of that extra shit. But I gotta get back to work now. So we are back live every single night. Be sure to join the Discord. Mods, drop the Discord. We got a really good Discord over there, man. You'll find it very interesting. Also, I'm dropping videos. I'm putting all of the videos that I'm dropping members only first. So I'll drop them members only, and then later on that day or the next day or a few days from now, they'll release to everybody. So if you want the videos early, be sure to grab a membership and be sure to hype my videos up, like the videos and shit like that, man. I need the hypes and the likes and shit. The videos will get better. I'm used to streaming. I'm not used to recording videos, but they will get better. Happy birthday again, Lala. Everybody tell Lala happy birthday on your way out. And I'm probably gonna go over there and see what Seth got going on, man. I think Seth's live right now, so we're gonna go see what Seth talking about. And I'm gonna take my ass to bed. Good night, chat. Thank you, Dorsey. Hey, Dorsey, you need to holler at me, man. Call me in the Discord or something. I'll be asking about you, Dorsey. Damn, nigga, you don't call me no more. You don't reach out to me in the Discord and shit, man. Karen Bass done lost re-election and your ass ain't nowhere to be found, man. Dorsey said if Karen Bass ain't the mayor, he don't even want to talk to me no more. That's crazy, Dorsey. That's crazy, man. Good night.